Crusoe Technologies. So I want to start by saying today we are not looking to make any decision or any vote on anything. We're not looking for you to make a decision on the reinvestment zone or the tax abatement application. We are here simply to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about us, the project, and what we're trying to accomplish, and more importantly, we're here to listen to you guys and know your concerns and answer questions as we can.
So 3 things we want to cover today. Again, we want to talk about who Crusoe is, who we are. We want to talk about this project specifically, and then we want to talk about being a good neighbor, what that means to us, and what that means to all of you, and how we can, play our part as a good neighbor to address all of your concerns that you also eloquently spoke about this morning. So to start with who we are. The background on Crusoe is a vertically integrated AI infrastructure company. So we build, own, and operate critical infrastructure for the digital economy. And that means that we do everything from electrical manufacturing, power development, data center development, and then the ongoing operations of these facilities. This infrastructure enables a variety of things. It enables innovation in critical industries, so healthcare, financial services, technology, national security. It also drives local and national economic development and security. And finally, it protects our data security by ensuring that this infrastructure is built here and data is housed here. Part of Crusoe is Crusoe Industries, and so this is the vertically integrated piece. We manufacture much of our electrical equipment that goes into the data centers, which allows us to operate quickly, maintain costs, not be reliant on value chains and other suppliers, which allows us to maintain a lot of control over the construction and operations process. This is a little bit about our evolving footprint. So we are a Denver-founded and based company. Our founders started with this thesis, this idea of using constrained resources in innovative and efficient ways. And so we're based in Denver. That's a lot of our heritage is in Denver. One of our founders is from an oil and gas family, and so he has a lot of this sort of passion for resource efficiency and using all types of energy and resources at our disposal to power our country. In terms of what makes Crusoe different, there's a lot of data center companies out there. There's a lot of operators these days. We pride ourselves on operational excellence, so I spoke a little bit about that vertically integrated process. So our business units communicating with one another, making sure that our teams are operating seamlessly, and that we are supporting the entire development process from manufacturing of our electrical equipment all the way to the operations of the data centers. We also really pride ourselves on transparency and community stewardship. So there's a lot of companies out there. We pride ourselves on being different by trying to engage proactively with communities to understand what makes each community we operate in different and what's most important to those communities. Another piece that we heard about this morning was water. So we use a closed loop and dry cooling system, which is far more water efficient than the evaporative cooling systems that data centers of the past have typically been built on. We're committed to paying our own way, so all electric utility upgrades and infrastructure, we foot the bill for all of those costs. Any technology for interconnection, any substations, we pay for those upgrade costs. Again, vertically integrated, and we manufacture all of our products here in the US. In terms of what a data center is, I think you can think about a data center building as a large computer. So within it, it has cooling, it's got security, fire safety, generators, backup generators for if and when power goes out, and then server racks that actually house the GPU units where the computer processing is done. On water, I think one piece to highlight here is the data center buildings we're proposing for Marquet use about 1.3 million gallons of water per year. And so that's on an ongoing operational basis. And just to contextualize this, these are very different industries, but to contextualize that use, the annual water use of a large car wash is about 2.5 million gallons, and then a golf course is more like 114 million gallons per year. So significantly larger than sort of our data center's operational use. And much of that is attributable to that closed loop cooling system that I mentioned.
How many proposed buildings?
Yeah, on this side, we're proposing 2 buildings here.
How many megawatts?
Let me interject something here. Let them do their presentation. They're actually making presentations, of course, to y'all and to us too, but try to hold your questions and we'll try to address them at the end.
Sir?
And I would add also part of our water commitment is working with the municipalities and the communities we operate in to target and pinpoint municipal water infrastructure upgrades where we can serve both of our needs by upgrading facilities to serve our water needs, but also unlock capacity and sustainable water use for the community. So again, I want to dive a little deeper here on the closed loop cooling system. So this sort of visualizes how the closed loop cooling system works. Obviously in a large data center, it looks more complex than this, but this is basically the gist of how it works. Again, other data centers and data centers of the past have typically used evaporative cooling systems. Those systems can use as many as 5 million gallons of water per day, so an enormous use of water. We do not use evaporative cooling systems. We use these closed loop cooling systems. And as you can see, the annual maintenance and treatment just of the closed loop cooling system is more like 280,000 gallons per year, so less than 3 US households worth of water. Within that system, there's a number of practices that we take to heart to ensure that the system is operating efficiently. So we ensure system integrity through corrosion and bacterial inhibitors, daily inspections to ensure that all of the mechanics are operating properly. We use the most efficient fixtures, and we ensure native landscaping so that we eliminate excess water use in the landscape surrounding the data center. Again, here's sort of that top line water use on an operational basis for the data centers we're proposing here. So it's about 1.3 million gallons per year. You can see the breakdown here. The 280,000 gallons per year is actually part of this 972,000 gallons per year. So these two numbers together gives you sort of the total 1.3 million gallons per year. So part of also what makes Crusoe different is we have a proven track record of success. So our sort of flagship project is the Stargate project in Abilene, Texas, 875 acres. We started in June 2024 and have come a long way since then. We have between 7,000 and 9,000 people working on a daily basis to bring those projects to fruition. Full-time employment right now is about 385 jobs, with a lot more to come as buildings continue to be commissioned, and then a new sort of expansion that the Abilene community has worked with us to secure.
Thank you, Reed. So a couple things that I want to talk about the project and just reiterate to everybody here that we're taking an approach where we want to come to the community first, and I think that that's something that most data centers and data center companies don't necessarily do. We are not an entitlement and flip developer. We are here to come join the community and join Leon County. We are going to be here and from a development entire standpoint, so we will be the ones operating this development. And so as we go into this project, there's a construction timeline, energization and commissioning, and operations. So this is our proposed timeline as we look at this project. And so, as before I go into potential depictions and everything, I'd like to explain that this is your question was, it's a 900 megawatt campus. We're looking here, it's going to be nothing behind the meter. This is a grid campus. And so, one thing that we would like to show and depict here, as Reed mentioned with the water strategy, we also want to help improve and provide to the community here. We've talked to the Concord Robbins water supply, and we want to see what improvements we can make to the system and to the overall unit. So it's not just that we're looking to have a certain operational usage, but what else can we build? Are there storage tanks, pump houses? Like, what can we help bring to the community here to help improve the overall infrastructure that you guys have currently. We talked a bit about roads. I think that comes in the next page here. We'll go back to jobs, but we want to help develop roads. We want to help improve infrastructure and be the best stewards that we possibly can for you guys as community and hear and understand. We go through an in-depth diligence process, analyzing everything from water usage to traffic to species to environmental reports to understand exactly what's going on the layout of the project, and we do everything we can to mitigate and to reduce any impact at every single possible extent that we can. So, let's see, actually. Yeah, jobs, yeah. So when we talk about jobs here, I know you guys all have expressed the job number that we've stated in our application. And so I want to reiterate that the application is just the starting point for us to engage with the court here, to engage with you all. And so the 40 jobs is not the number that we're tied to, or not the job number that we are committing to right now forever. Not the rubber stamp, it's not the line in the sand on anything. We want to help provide and understand what needs we can provide as we conduct our diligence process.
I would add to that the 40 really reflects sort of a minimum foundation related to any type of abatement. We expect a whole lot more jobs than 40. But for the purposes of the abatement, that was, sort of the conservative commitment that we wanted to make in our application. So I think flipping to this last piece about being a good neighbor, again, as Jack said, we want to understand, I think I'm so appreciative for the opportunity today to present to the Commissioner's Court, the judge, even more appreciative for the opportunity to learn from you all about what makes Leon County, what is unique, what are the challenges that are faced today, what are the challenges that the community foresees with us coming to town, and where can we work together to sort of address a nexus of needs. And we want to be a good neighbor, we want to be a community member that is part of Leon County on an ongoing basis. And so I just wanted to talk about our sort of commitments on that front and how we think about making commitments. So we sort of think about commitments across these 4 key pillars. So one is energy, water, community, and economy. And so again, Jack mentioned this is a grid project only. So we do have some projects where we also develop energy infrastructure, energy generation infrastructure. In those cases, we pay for all of those costs for the energy generation. In this case, we'll be paying for the costs to connect to the grid and make sure that our facility has power from the grid. So we'll pay for those sort of upgrades to the grid infrastructure. On water, again, a shared resource that we all have to protect. I think someone said, if you don't have water, you don't have anything. And that includes our data center. If we don't have water, we certainly can't operate the data center. And so we want to work proactively to understand how to upgrade the system and ensure that there's access for the entire community. On community, again, this is an area we really pride ourselves on, and it's being in the community, being visible, being present, and being elbow to elbow and shoulder to shoulder with all of you to understand Leon County and Marquette, and have sort of a mutual respect where we can share our concerns and our needs. And then finally, the economic piece is providing jobs, providing local jobs, providing opportunities for youth here to learn, enter the digital economy, gain new skills, and really be a part of this new industry and this new opportunity. And we want to ensure that as much of the impact of this project as possible is kept here in Leon County and kept with your kids and all of you here. So to speak more specifically on some of these pieces, I want to talk about water. And Jack mentioned we're actively sort of having discussions with Concord Robbins, WSC, to think about how do we upgrade some of the infrastructure to serve our operational needs, but then unlock additional capacity for the community. Are there areas where we can both benefit from those types of upgrades? We also work frequently with a third-party water expert company that helps us scope projects, scope the engineering of projects, manage sort of the financing and development of projects, and then the ongoing sort of verification to ensure that there are concrete water savings associated with some of these projects. And so I would say our questions here, I would pose to the community. We really want to understand what are the water amenities that are most important to the community. Where can we lean in as a good neighbor to play our part to help, potentially catalyze some of these projects that the community prioritizes. We want to understand where you see the most opportunity for a collaborative partner to enter, collaborative neighbor. And then we also want to understand, I think we've heard about, specifically with our project, some of the water concerns. We want to work with you to help allay those concerns and make sure that you feel satisfied with our project approach. On community, our sort of baseline is philanthropic giving and direct community investment. And so frequently that comes in the form of supporting emergency services. At most of our sites, we fund private ambulances and medical services so that anything that unfortunately happens at sites, we can support the medical response and ensure that there is no draw on community healthcare resources, especially given the scale of the project. So that is a common practice of ours. Road improvements, as Jack mentioned, at a minimum, addressing the roads directly contiguous to our site to ensure no traffic disruption and maximum safety, noise and landscaping mitigations and buffers, and then supporting key cultural and civic institutions. We want to learn what those are, how we can participate, and how we can add to sort of the vibrancy of Leon County and Marquette. Again, a set of questions we want to learn from you, understand those key needs in more depth. And then finally on economy, I think two really key pieces we often see with our projects is workforce development and local hiring, and then housing. So we want to work very proactively with you, with your independent school district, surrounding community colleges, technical colleges, to build partnerships that again ensures that local residents are the ones who are being prepared for and taking the jobs, the temporary construction jobs, as well as the longer term operational jobs. We want this project to sort of serve as a catalyst for youth and people to enter the digital economy and be able to stay here and pass on sort of the generational connection to this place and this community. And then finally on housing, we work very proactively with communities to identify the solution that is best fit for the community, whether that means developing housing to house the temporary construction workers that is then returned to its original use, or working on more collaborative structures with the county and municipalities to ensure that the market adjusts to any strains. So we want to work very collaboratively with you on that front. And the reason I mention all of these things, and as Jack said, we're not seeking official action, approval of a reinvestment zone, or approval of an abatement today. But we mention these because we think what we have seen with communities is, those types of structures, abatement agreements, tax abatement agreements, are the best way to codify these types of commitments to the community. And so we want to begin the discussion with you all to understand the most critical concerns, the most critical solutions that you all see, and how we can build that into a codified tax abatement agreement to ensure that we are following through on our commitment to the community, and supporting you all as a good neighbor should. So I want to leave it there. I think our next steps are, understanding from the commissioners and you all how we can best continue to introduce ourselves, educate everyone about our project, allay concerns about our project, and continue to engage around sort of this process and where we can make commitments and further understand the Leon County community. Anything
Okay,
to add?
we have public comments at the end. We've got several more things to happen. So why don't you hold your questions to the end? We have
gonna stick around to the end?
public comment section.
We have questions for them.
Right.
I'm
If
saying,
they leave,
and
we
then-
can't ask them. Can we have a few minutes?
But at the end, but let's
We're
do it.
happy to stay till the end if
Yeah.
that's the process that the Commissioners Court wants to follow, we're also happy to address and answer questions now.
I can't hear you.
Under the circumstances, we are in Commissioners Court. The Commissioners will be the ones, if any questions need to be asked, they're addressing all of us as the public, but we are under Commissioners Court. So therefore, any questions, I'm going to leave it up to the Commissioners over here.
I certainly recommend that you guys have a town hall meeting where all these questions could be answered directly,
Correct.
right? I mean, that's what they're asking for, and I think that's right? They got questions for y'all, we got questions for y'all, and, you know, you want to be a good neighbor, you're gonna have to sit down with them and go one-on-one and have these conversations.
Have the commissioners received the project location map, which is consulting 101 for a public meeting?
It's posted online.
Yes, sir.
Can we have a copy of your slides?
We will take this offline and then communicate with the Commissioners.
I also recorded it. I also recorded it.
Yeah, but I'd like a,
You'll send us a hard copy of it and we can get it out.
We can certainly, just take all this information and make sure it's receptive to all Commissioners.
That's fine.
So I understand that you're basically withdrawing the application that was submitted, is that?
So I think what we wanted to do here today is, one, introduce ourselves and understand what's going on. So I think when we discussed the application here, wasn't our intent. Our intent was to come here and introduce ourselves and get to know everybody.
I understand, but
Yeah.
you submitted an application, so we have to, that was what was put on the agenda. I think from my perspective, I'm glad that you basically withdrew your application. I was gonna vote to reject it because it's insufficient.
Yeah.
If y'all wanna be a good neighbor, you're gonna have to do a lot better than that, right, to be frank. I'm not trying to bother you all because I doubt you guys had anything to do with it. I do also want to make something very clear that this Lucas Workman is no relation to me. And that he lives in Colorado and I've never spoken with the man. Just because he's got my last name does not mean that we're related or we've ever spoken. Just to be clear.
And I didn't even try to make the connection on the website
And
because I knew it.
I caught that. Thank you. So,
And also, number 7 is about the guidelines and criteria. And that's something that's going to come before the court on number 7, which is the next one. And we're fixing to change all those. So they need to know what the changes are going to be able to do what they got to do properly.
So just going back, my respectful request, we're going to have, like you said, we're going to have a new application. There'll be a checklist. There'll be some more things that you'll be required to submit, which I think is what you're saying you're going to do anyway. That's what I basically have heard you say. But we definitely are going to need a lot more detail than what we have here.
We want to work, very closely with you to ensure
Sure.
that when we resubmit, we check all the boxes and all the concerns and ensure we do all the information.
So, a few questions, so I can kind of wrap my mind around a few things that's happening. So, obviously, your application had the parcels of land in there where this is going to be contained, but it doesn't address any, which the new ones will, but it doesn't address any size. So, I'm not a data center person, so can you tell me 900 megawatt facility, what type of square footage, total building space are we talking about? And height-wise and different things, are we talking about single-story buildings, 2-story, 3-story, 5-story? From what you envision building in Marquette, can you give me a little idea on how many? So it says phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is 2 buildings, and it says phase 2 is 2 buildings. So is that, the size of a football field, the size of an airport? What are we talking about?
Yeah, happy to address that. So first and foremost, we are in the design stages of these facilities, so everything we're discussing here is still preliminary and being updated. So I just want to make sure that's clear. The phase 1, phase 2 is dependent on when the megawatts are arriving, when they're being delivered. And so it's right now, this project is 900 megawatts and will be 2 buildings. Okay?
And what's the size?
And then the phase, and the size is, it's an approximation, but call it 800,000 square feet of building.
Per building? 800,000.
2 million square feet.
And sorry, you asked about building height
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well. So we typically build to about 35 feet in height. We only build single-story data centers. In some instances, there will be electrical or cooling equipment on the roof. That is not the case here as of now. And right now, so the two buildings, that's about 900 megawatts of what we call gross. There's a step down to what the power is actually being used at in the building to power the chips. So we call them our 350 megawatt building. So if you see reference to that, those two buildings equal the 900 megawatts gross.
So if phase one is basically going to consume the majority of that 900 megawatts, so is my understanding what you're saying is phase two with the additional buildings 3 and 4 will be additional megawatts coming in?
So just to be clear, sorry, the phase one is the initial timeline in which the energy is being delivered. And so phase one is being delivered as 700 megawatts, and phase two is the incremental 200 megawatts.
Okay.
I got you. What size building is that? What, 800,000 square feet?
Approximately right now, as we're again, we are going through a design process, and so those are subject to change.
And they wanted to debate me before they.
And how long has Crusoe been in business?
Since 2018.
So if what all studies have y'all done on this property so far?
Yeah, happy to walk through that. We are undergoing a number of different studies. So we've done everything from environmental reports, jurisdiction determination analysis. We've done geotech reports, soil analysis. We've done tidal, obviously. We've done surveys. We've done topo surveys. We've done endangered species reports. We've done phase one ESA. So it's an environmental study, just to understand if there are any RECs, recognized environmental terms and conditions. Any other reports you'd
No,
add?
so we've done a series of reports by licensed third-party professionals, and we use those, which are still ongoing, to determine the siting of the buildings and the final design, our geotechnical work. So while those are all ongoing, yes, those are all things we're doing.
So NRCS, so this project has got basically two runoff streams on it, one being Brushy Creek and the other one being Sour Branch, that both run through parts of Marquay and in turn end up flowing into the Navasota River just south of the city limits. How does the NRC, I know that projects this size, we've got stormwater prevention plans, runoff, things like that, retention ponds and different things, but basically this entire site is exactly kind of where Sour Branch kind of starts at, and everything from there runs into there and runs in the river. So have y'all went through the runoff aspect, not only during construction, but once it's built?
We do.
And
We do. We designed for stormwater to be managed to pre-existing conditions.
so have y'all been in contact with them yet or no?
With who?
The NRCS over the stormwater prevention plans?
So most of that work has been done through our third-party analysis, and as I said, this work's it's undergoing right now. And so let me confirm that
We'll
question.
confirm coordination with them as part of our site design.
Ma'am?
We'll confirm coordination with them as part of our site design.
What about, so obviously this packet that we have here, obviously it's incomplete, and we're going to be making some new rules on a new application. What is your entrance and exit points to get to this property?
So we will have two different entrance and exit points. One will be a private road, and then one will be the CR 387.
Okay, you realize you'll have to come to me for a road use agreement?
Yes.
So, where's the private road going to come out at?
It's going to come off Highway 7.
What's that? So, have y'all, I'm assuming y'all have already been in contact with TxDOT over,
So we are finalizing our traffic impact analysis right now, and then we'll be submitting that with TxDOT.
Okay.
So
You wouldn't have a problem with including that in your package to us, would you?
the traffic impact analysis?
Yes.
I gotta make sure we're clear on sharing third-party reports, but all communication will make sure you guys are aware of what improvements and everything that we are we are completing and contemplating here.
And that, I'm assuming, some of the other projects that we've had, businesses that want to be put in various places with TxDOT, it's quite a long process. But I'm assuming that this is all going to be with turning lanes, improved shoulders, and all that at both entrances?
Yes.
Okay. And what about the railroad? Have y'all contacted the railroad about that?
Yes, we have. So the initial discussions now are going to have our primary entrance being off of Highway 7. And then as we develop, we'll improve the railroad crossing as needed, as they see fit. And as it's necessary.
Y'all know the railroad just likes to stop right there.
So your main entrance for this project, from what I just heard, your main entrance from this project sounds like you're going to be entering off Highway 7?
That's correct. It's contemplated right now. That's true.
Will this property or this project be held under a single-use entity?
So, you want to say?
What do you mean by that? Will there be a single entity?
Well, no, is Crusoe going to handle it, or is it going to be Crusoe Marquez Limited #1 that can be folded up and packed up and left without Crusoe being on the hook?
On the hook for what?
Or any trouble that you might have, or any issue that might come up. I mean, I'm just asking if it's going to be a single-use entity. It's pretty
We
straightforward.
haven't determined the entity that this will be held in. What I can tell you is that Crusoe will be the developer and long-term operator. So we will be with this project for the long term.
And you'll have an equity stake.
Yes, sir.
Look, I want to say, thank y'all for being here, and I understand this is y'all's job. So none of my questions are directed at any of the three of y'all. So I understand that you're doing a job. The power, 900 megawatts, where is it coming from?
So that's a grid power?
Yes, sir. It's
So-
coming from the grid.
Yes, that's correct.
So this project that you're proposing here doesn't have, it will not have a power plant with it.
As proposed right now, there's no power plant.
Yeah, there will be no on-site
on-site.
power generation.
No on site on this site, or,
No on-site power generation for this project.
so y'all have made arrangements for your power to come
Yes.
directly off the grid?
We,
So
we are
what
contracting with
lines,
the utility. There is a,
Or Navasota Valley, I'm sorry about
it is, Navasota is the local
the provider.
transmission provider.
and that's where 100% of the power for this project will be coming from Navasota Valley?
We do have backup generators, so in the event of emergencies or anything, if there's curtailment needed, we will have our own backups of power. But
Yeah, so the
the
power,
primary source will be from grid power.
and we're contracting with Brazos and CTT for that power, so we are paying for any transmission or infrastructure upgrades directly through contracts with them.
Right, that was going to be my next
Yeah.
question. How do we be assured that we're not going to see rate increases related to your project?
Yeah, obviously, because we don't have any control over Navasota Valley.
Yeah, so,
I mean, there's nothing that we can do sitting up here that says we're asking Navasota Valley not to have a rating. Obviously, Navasota Valley operates over about 6 or 7 counties. So a data center being built in another county that they may have issues with, and Robertson County or Freestone County, just because one's not being built here in Leon County, or may not be, there's no way that we can say that it won't have a rate increase to 7 counties worth of citizens. So y'all are going to take care of that?
yeah, so we
With
have a
your
contract with
negotiation with
CTT and Brazos,
Navasota Valley.
or we will, that, and the purpose of that contract is so we directly pay for any transmission or energy upgrades that are required. So any costs incurred by our project will be paid directly by us.
Have y'all met with Navasota Valley?
We have an energy team, and so
The project team has met with them, yes.
All right. And obviously, a lot of questions here today stemmed, almost 90% of them started out with water. So that's obviously a big one. Yes, we had some people discuss pollution, light pollution, air pollution, different things, but water seems to be everybody's. Like, I mean, we can, you can do with some lights coming through your window at night. I have 10 full on mine from a gas well next door. But if we don't have anything to drink, none of us are going to survive. You said that you've already been in discussions with Concord Robbins Water Supply on providing water. So what has their initiative, or what have they insinuated to y'all that they can or can't do?
So my understanding is they're speaking later at the agenda.
They are, but I
Yeah.
want I would like y'all's take on what you've learned from them so far.
So what we've learned is we have a will serve letter for 50,000 gallons a day for our operational use.
Have you, this gentleman pointed it out, it's a good one. Have you considered rainwater collection off of those massive buildings? Try to reuse as much water as you can?
That's the intent of our our closed loop system. I can't specifically speak to what was the
Rainwater collection.
Rainwater collection, but I will come back to you.
Just based on your square footage, you can get almost 1 million gallons a day off of 1 inch of rain.
We had half inch this morning, by 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's something we can consider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you only consider it if you got a tax abatement?
So, obviously, your traffic impact analysis is going to, from TxDOT, with their engineers, is going to work on the best way that TxDOT sees fit. I've got a meeting with TxDOT Wednesday over some other issues in the county, Highway 3, out at the solar farm being one of them, and some other things, along with trees being trimmed and different things. But in that, TxDOT, I don't throw them under the bus, but they don't know our traffic situation in Marquette, Texas, 24 hours a day. Because one, their engineers are in College Station in Huntsville, that is over our spot. So I don't know that we have many TxDOT employees in Marquette at 6:30 in the morning during school hours to see the backup at the stop signs, the school traffic going to and from school, and the same in the afternoons. With approximately 2,500 people going in and out of these facilities at school time, 7 a.m. in the morning until 8:30, and getting off at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoons. I'm not sure what their workday is, but we've got a major impact there with not only 2,500 vehicles with personal employees going to work, but I can only assume hundreds of delivery trucks and materials coming in a day. So we have a very large, you take the population of Leon County at 17,000 people, you know, you got a fifth of them you're bringing in a fifth of that almost right there in a congested area, 1 mile each direction, 1.5 miles each direction from a four-way stop sign intersection. 25 vehicles backed up at a four-way stop at 7 o'clock in the morning. Not only the kids won't get to school, the buses won't get to school, but your guys won't get to work either. So there's a whole lot that I think that when we sit down with TxDOT, or when y'all sit down with TxDOT, and looking at that, the hours of operation that you're requiring your guys to come to work, the timing of deliveries not to be during school hours in the mornings and the afternoons, among other things. So I hope that all that is being put in that traffic impact study, not just that Highway 79 is a fairly improved road and can handle the vehicle traffic, or that 7 is a fairly new, improved road and can handle the weight of the vehicle traffic, which tends to be what more of the TxDOT studies are, rather than the amount of people and everything else that's on them right there at that given spot.
Understood. We hope to capture all of those things in the road use agreement we enter into with you.
Well, yes, ma'am. That's not going to be anything with us. We don't have anything to do with Highway 7 or Highway 79.
Generally, anything related to roads that you'd like to see as a part of this project, we would like to put into a road use agreement.
Thank you.
Has there been a study with the local ISD on people or funding, or have y'all had any kind of meetings with Leon ISD, what I'm talking about?
No, we haven't yet met with the Independent School District. We saw this meeting as a first step, and then we'd like to schedule subsequent meetings with each of the taxing entities, the school district included.
And I did hear something that I liked y'all in y'all's presentation earlier that was thrown out there, and that was that during construction of your project, and I'm assuming from start to finish, from the day the first contractor hits the ground till the day that there's only 40 vehicles driving in there to go to work, that y'all provide on-site medical services. So that with 2,500, 3,500 employees out there, if somebody was to accidentally get hurt, it's not taken away from the county resources. That you touched on the medical part of that. I like that. But what about the other issue on the fires, wrecks, and different things on site out there, I know that obviously this is the first meeting, and you've got other meetings to go to from here, but like y'all to consider that as well, as not only on-site ambulances, but whatever else you have on site that can control what y'all are doing to y'all's site to disrupt the community as little as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. I think across all of those pieces, fire, safety, medical, I think we want to ensure that we're working with you to ensure we have everything on site we need to address any issues on our site that doesn't draw on local community resources or provides additional capacity at the local level to help make up for any additional draw on resources.
I had a question related to, we talked about the 40 employees, whatever. I mean, we'll have to get to the bottom of that. But do you anticipate engaging local contract services as well? How does that work? Like, will maintenance staff be on it? Will they be a combination of employees and contract staff? Like, I'm just trying to understand like what other impacts there might be in terms of businesses, local businesses that might be impacted.
So at the point when we're ready to move forward with the project, we always work to collect a local list of vendors and contractors to prioritize for engagement with them and and contracting with their services at our sites. Are you asking, is it Crusoe employees always?
Well, I'm just trying to find out, for example, like, would you be outsourcing lawn maintenance and electrical ongoing? Let's say the project's completed. From an ongoing basis, we're talking about 40 employees. What I'm trying to figure out is if there's additional opportunities for local businesses to participate on an ongoing basis as a contract service.
That's right. Landscaping is a great example. Food service is another great example. Often janitorial is contracted. It depends on the project, but yes.
Right. Okay. But so the point is, you wouldn't be bringing in somebody from Denver, Colorado to mow your grass.
No, sir.
You stated in your application 40 employees when it's operational. But in the Abilene slide you had 385. Where did the Abilene start? Where did y'all initially say you were going to have?
So I don't have off the top of my head the application for Abilene back in 2022 or so. What I will say is for these applications, we anticipate a certain number of employees per building, and we always strive to be conservative in those estimates so that we don't sort of over-promise employment and under-deliver on employment in the long term. And so I would say standard across our buildings is, that 20 per building. I would say we anticipate a whole lot more than that, but that is, subject to design and sort of the ongoing development of the project. But that is pretty standard for our applications.
And you mentioned that phase one had one building, 800,000 square feet. Is that correct?
So it's to be clear, phase one and phase two is just the energization timeline of the megawatts. So it's 700 is the phase one, and the incremental 200 is the phase two. We only have 2 buildings at this site.
And that'll be for the entire 900. It's just you're only going to bring so much of it on it's going to be phased brought online.
Exactly.
I got you. So it's not going to be the 2 buildings total, right?
It's not going to what?
Not going to be any more than 2 buildings total out there?
Yeah, this project right now is 2 buildings. That's right.
Right now.
This project is 2 buildings.
So,
And the total of those 2 buildings are going to be 800,000 square feet?
each.
Okay. All right.
So earlier you addressed housing. Obviously, we don't have a whole lot of housing in Leon County. So with from your application, this is about from 2026 to 2034. So we're looking at close to 8 years. You say that you'll have up to, at some point, 2,500 employees in here. And earlier you mentioned housing. So go back to that point, and you didn't touch on it much. Go back to that point. Are y'all planning on providing housing for all those employees working there?
So what I would say on housing is it's subject to the makeup of the labor. So ideally, you know, we're seeking to provide job opportunities to, you know, local residents. And so for those residents, there's obviously not an additional need for housing. And that, you know, ideally, if we're driving as many of these jobs as possible to local residents, you know, that reduces the amount of additional housing that needs to be built or brought in, or, you know, the number of employees who need to be accommodated. Depending on that makeup, you know, depending on the communities we operate in, it looks a little different, but both from the geography of the location as well as the community's desire for housing solutions. And so it has looked like anything from, you know, working with partners to develop housing near or on site to serve housing for the site, or working with surrounding municipalities to ensure that there's enough capacity to house all 2,500 people. And so it could look like anchor lease commitments, working with hotels to ensure we have enough capacity for all of our employees to be housed, ideally as close, you know, to the site as possible, but, you know, cognizant that every community has different desires for where housing should be. So,
Well, to me, I'd like to see us, you know, not have labor camps where you establish, you know, tents or temporary buildings, stuff like that, because that's just a breeding ground for all kinds of problems.
absolutely. Yeah, and you know, we have worked in some communities that historically have been more oil and gas, you know, based communities, and so they, you know, have seen a lot of, you know, workforce housing units stood up. Other communities have not experienced that, and so, you know, we work with every community to ensure that whatever solution is brought to the table, you know, matches the community's needs and concerns.
So, question, and you may or may not be able to answer, or how many, Crusoe, how many data centers do y'all have online?
We have 4 online that we can speak about publicly.
And how many of those are in Texas?
All 4.
All 4, okay. How long have they been online?
Sorry, there's a 5th that's international.
Okay. How long have they been online?
About 18 months.
What, another question raised was impacts to, and not in this meeting, but in prior meetings we've had, is bird migration, bees, livestock rebreeding. There's almost 100 chicken houses that are fertilized within a mile and a half of your proposed site, as well as all the livestock around there. In your other sites, have you seen any type or what type of environmental, wildlife, or any other domestic animals? Have y'all seen anything in there at any particular site that would make y'all adjust something that you did there but that you won't do here? Is there any impacts that has been brought up there that you actually are seeing?
We have not observed that. We've not observed that.
You haven't what?
Observed that.
Have they done any studies?
We're clearly going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah, and between whoever, we need to set up a public comment, a town hall meeting.
Yes.
Preferably in Jewett. That's a large facility. You know, if you need me to help you with that, fine, or you can call them directly, whatever we need to do. But, I'm sure there's a lot more questions. People are going to come with a lot of questions. But we do appreciate y'all coming today. The others that we've asked to come will not come. So y'all being here, that says something. And so we appreciate that.
He didn't have a period in.
Well, again, thank you. It makes a world difference to me that you're willing to stand here in front of all these people and us and explain yourself. There's another gate we're going to have to go through, several gates for sure. right? I mentioned that, the application itself was, insufficient. We'll get you some more information. Hopefully today we may be able to get that some more clarity for y'all on that. But at this time, Judge, I'm going to make a motion that we reject the application that was submitted. And we'll.
Got a motion on the floor by Kyle to reject the application, second by TJ. Any more discussion on that?
Oh, I do have one more question.
All right.
So, in your application, at the end of it, you stated after the abatement process that your project would possibly bring in, after 10 years, about $16.3 million would be the taxable value of it. So during the process of your construction up to 10 years, what do you foresee the average tax income to the county from your project?
Considering you're still designing it.
During a 10-year abatement, what is the taxable amount to the county? Or post the 10 years?
No, so you do this project in phases. So obviously, and I'm just going to throw some numbers out there, $10 million. If you were to say our project is worth, you're paying $16.3 million after 10 years, so let's say $20 million. There's no point in time where your project would be bringing in $20 million because once you get the phase one done, you're going to be 2 or 3 years into it. It's already going to be depreciating by the time you get your next one on. So what do you foresee your annual tax bill to the county with no abatements, with no anything? What do you foresee your line looking like to the county?
So I would say on the taxes piece, the equipment, goes in and it isn't just depreciated and sort of that's the end of it. There is ongoing sort of refresh of equipment over time. So there is sort of an ongoing additional taxable assets that will be put into the data center on ongoing operations. So it does, I would say the taxable amount will vary over time. I think as the project is currently scoped, we would need to talk with our tax advisors about the exact average taxable amount to the county. But confident saying on an ongoing basis after the abatement, that's 16 million.
Thank you.
I got one question, please. Earlier in your presentation, you said that you manufacture a lot of your components. Where do you do that?
We have 3 manufacturing facilities. 2 are near Denver in Arvada and Brighton. Another is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a 4th in Louisiana.
So you got 4 data units, all in Texas, and no manufacturing.
Correct. I would say we started in Denver and Colorado, and so a lot of our early investment as a company was in.
Do you not have any centers in Denver because Denver won't?
Okay, let's wrap this up. Y'all get your questions. We'll be having a town hall meeting soon. I assume I'll have to get with MC, but watch for that. Yeah, we need a vote on the motion. Do I hear a motion? He seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Carries. Thank you. Okay.
They're redoing their I'm just confused about
Yeah, just leave your chair, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get right for you.
Harold. Oh well. I'll go ask the kid.
They're in recess. Let them get out.
Sir?
We have a 5-minute recess right now. Someone's asking about the votes here. About the votes, they can hear all the picture votes.
900 back there is enormous amount. They're gonna put in gas plants. That's the only way they can do it. They don't understand, to me, water wasn't even my question. It's the invasion. There's invaders. That's my.
Oh, you going? All right. Yeah.
Follow this lady in West Texas. She is very good. Let me show her to you. Julie Waters. And there's two big data centers out there. Five Texas. And Children's out there. And it has just turned the world upside down.
I think I may traffic
And
there's no way they can help it. I'm not back here with I got mad and slammed it down on the counter.
I'll be here till the end. But I'm happy to talk to you after that.
Now we're gonna do the guidelines for the maintenance process. And they haven't done that since '86. They haven't updated the maintenance guidelines since 1986.
So what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to hinge that on that taxable. And the problem is, even President Trump back in November was saying we don't have enough qualified Americans to work these jobs. So they're going to be committed to, give us an abatement, we'll teach people how to do it. But to come online, they're going to have to bring in each one of these.
We're about to reconvene, so if you have public comment forums for public comments number 2, and you going home after this? Are you going home after this, or are you gonna go? Yeah. So if Justin leaves me here, you'll take me home. If Justin leaves me, will you take me home? Because I don't think
I said, if anybody wants to make public comments and public comment number 2 on the agenda, I need your form. Same subject? We're talking about something else.
No, it's just this. There's a second comment. She said if you want to make public comments,
I did, yeah. I was
All righty. Fun times.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, Commissioners Court's back in session. Okay, we're going to look at number 7, discuss possible take action on updating the Leon County guidelines and criteria related resolution. Get them.
Yeah, this is, I think that's going to be a.
All right. Presentation by Travis Tripway. Southport Robbins Water taking action necessary. Travis?
But it was just out of control.
Yes, Travis.
I had good morning on my paper, but I think it's afternoon now. I just want
our name got thrown out there, but I'm with Concord Robbins Water. We have been in talks with them on delivering water to this. And I just want to describe a lot of how that process works to y'all. And also, as soon as I heard that they were meeting with county officials, I called each and every one of y'all. The only reason why they're meeting with y'all is for an abatement. And I believe Concord Robbins Water should be a part of that, any abatement that is agreed. And I'm going to give some descriptions why I believe. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on the matters we face today and those effects on our water system. I would like to start with a little history between us and the court. Just 5-6 years ago, we were faced with an issue that had a lot of similarities that this had. Many of y'all will know what I'm talking about. A large developer had moved into this area and was purchasing large tracts of land and dividing them into subdivisions. We have internal rules that they have to follow when they're within our area, but we have no teeth other than litigation to fight them. It was discovered that they have to get county approval for these subdivisions. Mr. Workman, I don't think you were 3 weeks on the job when I called and I said, we got a problem. They're giving me pushback, and there's a lot of facilities that they would have to pay for that if they didn't, it would put a strain on our current ratepayers and put us in litigation at the PUC. 3 members of this court, maybe more, I don't know when the rules was actually passed, and the county attorney got together. They passed the subdivision rules, and since that time, we have done almost $3 million worth of facility upgrades for about approximately 10 subdivisions that have gone in our county. I thank the court for listening to us then and even making recent adjustments within the last couple months on new regulations from the state that would have negatively impacted our ratepayers. I went to Robbie, who is y'all's liaison. He made the changes. Y'all voted and approved that. I thank y'all for continuing to listen to us. Now we're faced with a lot of the similar issues, but it's industrial developers moving in to the area, and that presents us with a lot of the same problems and some new ones. To date, we have received 2 inquiries about serving water to 2 separate data centers. Though I will reference these 2 developers, I ask the court to keep in mind that I'm referring to any that moves in the future. Part of the process, what happens is these are applicants. When an applicant comes into our area, they submit it to us, and we first determine if they're in our certificate of convenience and necessity. I call a CCN from now on. A CCN is issued to a public water supply, PWS, which we are, by the Public Utility Commission of Texas. They have jurisdiction over our rates and our rules of service as a water supply corporation. No other PWS can serve customers within our CCN. In other words, we are a small monopoly, just like the electric providers are. If somebody in our CCN requests water, we must serve them. If not, we will be in litigation at the PUC. They have to follow our rules. We are actually currently in litigation at the PUC for one developer that did not decide to follow the subdivision rules, and I don't think y'all have approved that subdivision to date that it is in. PUC sided with us on an informal complaint. They decided to file a formal complaint. We had to hire a lawyer to litigate it. We're probably $15,000 into it, but it's about $100,000 worth of work. So, I don't like spending our ratepayers' money in a lawyer, but we have to on this one to get a ruling in our favor. So just as this developers come in, they have to follow our rules. There is some gaps in what our rules is and what the law allows on that. The first inquiry that we got was Valtown Power, also known as BT Kayla. And we requested to provide up to 30 million gallons a year and fire flow capabilities. The real advantage in this negotiation was the fire flow capabilities, because it forces the applicant to build larger facilities that would ultimately be used by most of our ratepayers, which most of y'all are. And that would be at no cost to y'all. This particular facility would, the negotiation led roughly to a $20 million plant being built along FM 1146. This would tie into our bigger pressure plane that's in that area, And that pressure plane is higher than all the other customers we serve and interconnected with them. So everybody in our system would benefit from that happening. And again, at no cost to our current ratepayers. Then came Crusoe. Kimley Horn, an engineering firm for Crusoe, contacted us in May about the process for water supply to an industrial site. We provided the paperwork needed and did not hear back from them until mid to late June. We received 2 applications. One was for normal operating usage of 50,000 gallons a day that he referred to, or 18 million gallons a year. Now, through conversation with them, they set a maximum. They don't expect to use that. Just as with Belltown, they did 30 million, but their actually expected average usage was 11 million gallons, based on their projections and stuff. The other one was received with caution because it was for 850,000 gallons a day for construction only. That would equate to a little over 300 million gallons a year. We had a phone conversation about that one, and they realized there are other ways that they're going to have to get that. Naturally, that increases trucking coming in, stuff like that. Or we all see the pipelines in the ditch now from BRA pumping water that way. There is a possibility that we can supply some of that 850,000, but it will happen in negotiations with them so that we receive better facilities to do that. Herein lies the problem between us and industrial developers. Is a developer legally is only required to pay for the facilities, being the lines, tanks, pumps, wells that are required for their connection. This is based off of, I think their peak connection was 50 gallons a minute, 50,000 gallons a day. We have plans to build facilities throughout our system that is bigger than what they need and likely bigger than what anybody would come in and ask about. For example, the particular pressure plane that will feed them, we have plans to drill a 500 gallon a minute well soon. And I say so soon in that we completed the engineering in 2024 and went out on bids. Only 3 people bid on it, and they came back at $1.6 to $1.7 million. That was $400,000 to $500,000 than what we expected between us and our engineer when it went out on bids. We was basing it off of a well that was drilled in 2019 around the same criteria, and that was $900,000. So they almost doubled in price through COVID on that. In addition, interest rates went considerably up at this time. So we tabled it for a year. We backed up and tabled it for a year, and about the time we decided to revisit it, data centers started coming up. That's when Belltown Power called. And that drastically changes our planning when we have to move it from one way to another. And has the potential to take some infrastructure cost off of our customers. We're to the point that we're about to have to drill it regardless of what they do on that. And I imagine we will drill it by the end of 2027.
Somewhere in that area over there.
Yes, sir. Concord Hill is where it's our big blue standpipe right there. We have had plans / discussions to increase our storage capacity in that pressure plane in the early to mid 2030s. This coincides with some debt that is being paid off at that time to lessen the impact on our ratepayers. We won't determine the exact size of it until it gets to the build date, but we estimate that to be 250 to 500,000 gallons storage.
And where does that go? I'm sorry, that's over on 1146?
So the original plans is there's a tall hill in Flynn that would float easily with our existing Concord and Old Bowling Hill.
Okay.
We had briefly discussed, go ahead and purchasing the land quickly right before Belltown called. With Belltown coming in, there's a chance to move that to there with piping to pipe it in. So it's a fluid plan. We know we have a need. The hill located at BT Kalo was high enough that it would feasible to float it. In respects to that, Crusoe's land is a lot lower. It would be a 300-foot tower, which would be almost impossible to build and expensive to maintain if we worked out the same kind of deal with them. I don't want to get ahead of the engineering report, but I estimate that the well requirement for Crusoe's 50,000 gallons a day would be less than 100 gallons a minute, whereas we're going to drill a 500 gallon a minute. And storage would probably be 60 to 75,000, whereas we'll more than likely be closer to the 500,000 on that. This means we have to decide to go ahead and move up our plans, but with doing that, some of that cost will be put on our ratepayers. I roughly estimate the cost of those projects to be 3 to 5 million or more, with Crusoe paying part and our existing customers having to pay the rest through the water rates increasing. We are in very early negotiations with Crusoe's, and to their credit, as they stated, they do not want any negative impact on the community. This is a negative impact that they could have forcing us to move our plans for facilities up. They have made the statement they don't mind paying for the facilities, and with the electric, I think y'all need to dig deeper into that. I'm not the electric co-op, but the co-op buys their power in blocks. So they're going to have to buy a certain block of power for them. If they don't use that, it doesn't get distributed through the bill that way. So that is a potential cost that can be passed on to the existing Navasota Valley customers. Sorry, chased a squirrel. I have good faith that they came here, talked to y'all. I do think we'll have good faith in negotiations as we work through these problems. I asked, what is the court's role in all this? I led off with the subdivision rules because that has been beneficial immensely to us as a water system. It is my understanding that unlike a developer that is splitting up land, the court's power to regulate a single landowner who is developing their property is very limited. It is also that my understanding that a tax abatement greatly increases y'all's power on that. I asked the court to consider the following, and as y'all are about to discuss y'all's regulations and new abatement process, I ask you to consider. Don't approve any tax abatement without water supply figured out, just like in the subdivision rules. No subdivision can get approved without a certificate from me saying, if it's in my area. Try to apply the same rules to any abatement. Rework the tax abatement guide and application to be clearer and more informative, just like y'all did the subdivision rules not long ago. Somehow include us in this process so that there will be no negative impacts on our water service or the costs associated with that service. These projects have a big impact on our current and future planning. Even the solar farms use a good amount of water for construction, and we could benefit from supplying them. Short-term benefit for us, which in turn benefits our ratepayers, which is y'all's constituents on that. Require large water users to use the local water system for their supply. I talk about these costs. It is better for them to be supplied by us if all these facility upgrades is handled and it's no cost to y'all. This prevents this clears up the reports of not knowing exactly how much water they use. Those meters are our cash register. If they ain't working, we're fixing them. Y'all's and theirs, both of them. They are our cash register. We will know exactly how much water is going through there. It will clear up the potential conflict of creating a PWS within a PWS. If they have a faucet that somebody can get a drink of water for, they have the ability to drill their own wells and supply their own water. If they have a faucet that somebody can get a drink out of, they become a public water system. You get into litigation because that's creating a public water system within RCCN, and we will litigate that on that. And it will prevent the installation of competing wells that feeds our homes and businesses. There was a lot of talk about water. If they're able to drill their own wells, it will compete with our wells. It is actually placed in between our two biggest wells, and the city of Marquet's wells is near to it. So it becomes a competition for that water. if they're on us, we're serving everybody. There's no competition on that. This will help save us or any PWS from potential litigation also. Lastly, I know this is not the favorite of what was projected here by a lot of the people, but I don't believe y'all can throw the tax abatement out the window. I would at least ask y'all to consider a minimum of dollar for dollar tax reduction for money spent with the water utility on this. These companies have a model that is looking for a profit in a certain amount of time. If we take the risk of no abatement altogether, they could still come. And the water supplier, being us in this case, will still have to supply them. Property tax in their model is just like water infrastructure. They're both an expense. If property tax is not where they modeled it at, they will more than likely cut other expenses, and it might be the water supply expense that they cut to get where they need to be profitable in the time amount that they have modeled. Here, I thank y'all for listening to me, and I'm here with any questions or concerns y'all got. I didn't get into too much detail about the aquifer, stuff like that, but
Just
I'm
to be
open.
clear, what I hear you saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that if they build their project and they drill, and they go to you without a tax abatement where we can, however, you're gonna have to upgrade your systems to be able to supply them, but you can't charge them that solely. It'll have to be spread apart across all your ratepayers?
The way the law is, we can only charge for their connection, what they are requesting for their connection, which is at this time on the 50,000 gallons a day, or I asked the peak usage, I think it was an engineering, but it was 50 gallons a minute max. Peak
Was
usage.
there some talk too about they drill the wells and use it for construction, that there would be some kind of a donation to y'all in lieu of y'all having to build all this?
So 2 weeks ago, Kimley Horn called, and the conversation was going to be based off of that 850,000 gallons a day. Through that conversation, I told them that I would be at this Commissioners Court meeting and that I would be affecting their application to the tax abatement on that. They decided, let's wait till after the meeting to see where we stand, probably for posture of negotiating and stuff like that. There is an advantage for Concord Robbins and our ratepayers in providing some of that 850,000 gallons a day. Ideally, one of the options that we have looked at is creating a pumping station and piping, and it's actually modeled after the city of College Station, and Wixon Creek Special Utility District right outside of College Station is doing this. But what they do is make a well field, have a big tank that they pump out of, and it pumps to all their elevated storage. There is a possibility for something like that on this to happen, where they give us some of the land, drill the wells for us, and pay to pipe it into the elevated storage. With that being said, I didn't mention it in there. With big water users like this, and this kind of goes into the groundwater conservation district, but I want to tie up water rights. Water rights is a separable issue than land surface rights on that. If we were to move our infrastructure to help accommodate them and stuff like that, we would want to tie water rights up. The advantage in that is if they're on us and their building's using, say they peak it out at 50,000 gallons a day, and they split that parcel up and sell it as 20, 30 acres, whatever it is, and then build another one right beside it, we're eating up everybody else's water rights. In other words, we need to tie those water rights up on big industrial projects like this, because Mid-East Texas, I think it's based off of about 1 million gallons for every 10 acres, is what you're able to pump out of the ground. And it kind of coincides with their rules. And it's something that we have discussed and we've been leaning towards for a year now, is trying to actually buy up water rights, even though ours is based off of our CCN.
And y'all are, obviously you're in constant contact with Mid-East, right? I mean, y'all are.
Yes, me and David,
Yeah.
we talk a lot.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Because obviously this is a big deal, as you can tell. It's a big deal for everyone.
Me and David love water. We love doing the math. We talk for hours quite a bit. I've studied, just give y'all a view on the aquifers that we got in here. And when y'all came in December, I told you, you're not gonna kill this with water. I watched y'all's episode with y'all's water expert in there. He said a lot of things in there that was not favorable to trying to stop it. And I don't think any of y'all have mentioned water in y'all's speeches, so I think y'all have understood that.
Water is not my issue for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, let me clear that up with this court. I asked them, the biggest thing that concerns me on these is power generation. Power generation does use a ton of water. They have said there is no plans for power generation on this. I think that needs to be clarified in any abatement process also. Not saying there can't be power generation, but that is what will greatly affect our groundwater and produce competing wells with all of our public water system wells, if they decide to go with groundwater for that.
How big is Concord Robbins' footprint water-wise in Leon County?
I looked it up, we cover about 400 square miles. Leon County's 1,083 square miles.
So you've got roughly, sorry?
40%?
Yeah, Concord Robbins roughly holds 40% of the water rights over the entire county.
So we are secondary to the landowners. Our water rights are CCN. Basically, any well that's permitted through Mid-East Texas gets subtracted from that, but there's billions. I mean, we're nowhere close to what the maximum pumpage limit is.
So any landowner that comes in and drills a high volume, high capacity well, that takes away from, how many members we have on the water service?
3,500.
So every well that's drilled, whether it's high capacity or not, if you just drill a 300-foot well at your house to water your garden, that's taken away from Concord Robbins.
If it's permitted.
If it's permitted, okay.
And that's why we're secondary to landowners. Landowners can do that.
Aren't they all permitted now?
They don't have to.
Less than 35 gallons a minute, I do not believe it's a permitted well.
So-
David would be able to clear that up.
If they came in, any company, whether it's data centers, whatever it may be, power plants, if they come in and drill 300 or 400, 500 gallon a minute wells, not only to service them, they're sucking water out from underneath 3,500 people.
Yes. And to put a picture with this, I've actually been watching this for years. Georgetown, everybody west of us has been creeping in. Simsboro Aquifer is what we would require them to drill into. That is the very bottom of the Carrizo Wilcox. It is the cleanest, purest water that you got. Any new well that we've drilled in the last 25 years has been in the Simsboro Aquifer. Georgetown, all these pumping projects has been coming at us from the west. City College Station, Texas A&M just fought a big pumping project that way. One out east surprised me. They're all going after the Simsboro Aquifer. Redtown Ranch Holdings, many of y'all are familiar with that. That is right on our county line, right up here. We are actually part of a group of water systems that is helping litigate that because they're wanting to pull 30 billion gallons out. The real problem with that is they have hydrogeologists that says the water's there, and ultimately it is. In Leon County, there's billions of gallons of untapped water. We have more rainfall that replenishes the Simsboro Aquifer than what's being pumped out of it. We are going to be fighting cities coming in trying to pump our water out and go to the city. It will come. We're just right in the middle point, but it's coming on both sides.
Well, thank you for what you do. We appreciate you and your board, looking out for all of us as ratepayers and provide the water to us. I know when I go turn the faucet on and it comes out, I'm happy.
Yes.
Thank you, Travis. Appreciate it.
Travis.
Not on the agenda, but we have Marcus here. Is he still here? Marcus with he may not be here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's go back to number 6. Huh? All right, presentation of letter of liability notice regarding industrial projects. This is by Red.
Scheinling.
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 Scheinling. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate that. You too.
Thanks.
Do you want one for the minutes?
Should have one, no 10.
Maybe we can make a note that Crusoe was here as well to receive this document.
Go ahead, Red.
Judge Ryder and Commissioners, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. I also want to thank the court for the time and attention it has given citizens who have come forward with concerns regarding proposed data centers and their associated infrastructure. I know the court has many important matters before it, and I appreciate your time and willingness to listen. Over the past several months, citizens have become increasingly concerned about the number and scale of these proposed developments within Leon County. These concerns involve our water, electricity, roads, emergency services, agricultural land, property rights, taxation, health, quality of life, and the long-term obligations that may be placed upon the county and its residents. Many people have asked what can be done to ensure these concerns are not merely discussed but are formally documented and addressed through an organized public process. I believe the proper response is to work respectfully through the public process while citizens continue gathering information, identifying the entities involved, preserving records, and communicating directly with the appropriate parties. As I previously discussed with Judge Ryder, the document I am submitting today serves in part as notice that foreseeable project-related risks and potential consequences have been raised. It does not ask this court to determine liability or resolve disputed facts. Its purpose is to preserve these concerns on the public record before further development proceeds and before major decisions involving public incentives, infrastructure, utilities, roads, water, or other county interests are made. It also requests reasonable transparency regarding the identities and roles of the entities participating in these projects and asks that the appropriate procedures and safeguards be followed when related matters come before the court. With the court's permission, I will now read the document I am submitting into the record. Citizens' Notice of Foreseeable Risk and Potential Liability, Preservation of Rights, and Request for Project Transparency, submitted for inclusion in the official record of Leon County Commissioners Court. To Judge Ryder and the Honorable Commissioners of Leon County, I respectfully request that this document be received into the official record of the Leon County Commissioners Court. This submission concerns proposed data centers and industrial projects and their associated electric transmission, water, transportation, utility, and supporting infrastructure within Leon County. Its purposes are: 1, to formally document foreseeable concerns raised by citizens; 2, to establish that these concerns were communicated before further development and major public decisions are made; 3, to request transparency concerning the entities participating in, controlling, financing, supplying, or benefiting from the proposed projects; and 4, to encourage reasonable steps to investigate, disclose, prevent, and mitigate foreseeable harm. This document does not ask the Commissioners Court to adjudicate liability, resolve disputed facts, or adopt every concern stated below as a formal finding. It serves to preserve notice that substantial project-related concerns have been raised and to request transparency, public review, and appropriate safeguards before further development and major related decisions proceed. Foreseeable concerns. Citizens have raised concerns regarding the identities and respective roles of landowners, lessors, lessees, developers, project companies, parent companies, subsidiaries, investors, operators, contractors, utilities, water providers, transmission providers, consultants, and other participating entities. The use of multiple limited liability companies, affiliated entities, special purpose companies, and other arrangements that may make project ownership, control, financing, operation, and long-term responsibility difficult for citizens to determine. groundwater withdrawal, interference with existing wells, drought resilience, and the continuing availability of water for residents, farms, ranches, livestock, and local communities. Electric generation, transmission, and distribution infrastructure, service reliability, utility expansion, and potential financial consequences of project-related utility commitments for existing members and ratepayers. Heavy industrial traffic, roadway deterioration, construction impacts, public infrastructure costs, and responsibility for maintaining, repairing, and restoring affected roads. Fire protection, emergency response, hazardous material service, public safety, and increased demand upon local emergency services. Noise, lighting, vibration, dust, traffic, heat, visual intrusion, drainage changes, and other conditions that may affect neighboring properties and surrounding communities. Agricultural operations, livestock, wildlife, habitat, wetlands, natural resources, and the rural character of Leon County. Property rights, property values, health, safety, quality of life, and the ability of residents to continue peacefully using their homes and land. Tax abatements, reinvestment zones, and other public incentives that may reduce the tax obligations of large industrial projects while residents and local businesses continue bearing their ordinary obligations. The long-term fiscal effects of public incentives, infrastructure commitments, utility expansion, road damage, emergency service demands, environmental impacts, closure, abandonment, and decommissioning, and the financial capacity and long-term accountability of project owners, operators, parent companies, successors, assigns, and any entities that may later acquire or control these projects. These concerns are foreseeable and have now been formally presented before many of the projects have been fully developed and before significant county decisions may be made. Notice concerning future responsibility. Project applicants, participating utilities, landowners, developers, project companies, parent companies, affiliated entities, contractors, operators, investors, successors, assigns, and any other persons or entities possessing knowledge or control over these projects are respectfully urged to take reasonable steps within their respective authority to investigate foreseeable risks, disclose material project information, identify the entities responsible for project decisions and obligations, prevent or mitigate avoidable harm, avoid shifting private project costs and risks onto residents, taxpayers, ratepayers, landowners, local government, and preserve relevant project records and communications. This statement is not a present determination of liability. It preserves a contemporaneous public record that the risks described in this document were raised before further project development and before major related decisions were made. Request for identification and transparency. Before the Commissioners Court considers any tax abatement, reinvestment zone, incentive agreement, road use agreement, infrastructure commitment, development agreement, or other discretionary county action benefiting a proposed project, I respectfully request that the court seek sufficient information to identify the complete legal name of the project applicant, the landowner, lessor, lessee, developer, project company, and proposed operator. Any parent, controlling, affiliated holding, investment, or special purpose entity associated with the project, the registered agent and state of formation of each principal project entity, participating electric utilities, transmission providers, water providers, contractors, engineering firms, and infrastructure providers, each entity's role in the project, the anticipated ownership and operating structure, and the persons or entities expected to remain responsible for contractual obligations, infrastructure, environmental conditions, closure, decommissioning, and restoration if project ownership or control changes. Where practicable, I respectfully request that this information and other material project documents be submitted sufficiently in advance of county action to allow the court and the public a meaningful opportunity to review them. Request for basic project information. Before significant county action is taken, project applicants should also be encouraged to provide understandable information regarding the proposed location and general scope of the development, anticipated construction and operational timelines, expected water demand and proposed water sources, expected electric demand and proposed utility and transmission arrangements, anticipated effects upon county roads and local emergency services, requested tax abatements, reinvestment zones, or other public incentives, proposed road, infrastructure, utility, or development agreements, responsibility for infrastructure construction, maintenance, repair, restoration, and responsibility for closure, abandonment, decommissioning, environmental obligations, and site restoration. Requests of the Commissioners Court. Accordingly, I respectfully request that the Leon County Commissioners Court receive this document into the official record of this meeting and include it with or reference it in the minutes and supporting records of the court. Recognize that the concerns described herein have been formally presented before further project development and before consideration of major incentives, agreements, infrastructure commitments, utility arrangements, or other significant county decisions. 3, seek meaningful identification and project disclosures before considering discretionary county action benefiting any proposed data center or associated industrial infrastructure project. 4, provide a meaningful opportunity for public review where practicable before final action is taken upon major project incentives or agreements. 5, consider if useful and administratively feasible maintaining one simple project file for materials received by the county concerning proposed data centers and associated infrastructure. This need not involve a new department or complicated database. It could be as simple as a designated email address and a corresponding paper or electronic folder where materials already received by the county may be kept together. And consider placing any proposal requiring formal court action on a future agenda for discussion and possible action if it cannot be properly addressed at the present meeting. The optional project file is not intended to require the county to investigate private parties, verify submissions, administer citizen notices, or assume responsibility for identifying every project participant. Citizens may continue independently researching projects, identifying participating entities, requesting public records, preserving evidence, communicating concerns, and delivering project-specific notices directly to appropriate parties. Preservation of rights. Nothing in this submission is intended to waive, limit, release, or abandon any right, objection, claim, remedy, public information request, administrative proceeding, regulatory complaint, request for investigation, or legal action that may be available to any affected individual or entity as additional facts become known. Project participants and other entities possessing records materially related to the concerns described herein are respectfully requested to preserve relevant contracts, leases, options, studies, reports, engineering materials, water and utility analyses, communications, financial records, electronic information, and other project-related documents. Receiving this document into the official record does not require the court to determine liability or take a position for or against any particular project. It preserves a public record that foreseeable project-related concerns and potential consequences were communicated before further development and before major related decisions were made. Respectfully submitted. So again, to Judge Ryder and the Commissioners, thank you for your time and willingness to hear from the citizens of Leon County. I want the citizens present today to understand that their concerns are not simply disappearing into the conversation. This submission is one part of a broader citizen-led effort to document concerns, identify the companies and utilities involved, research public records, preserve information, and communicate directly with the appropriate parties. I'm not asking the Commissioners Court or the County Clerk to administer that entire effort. Citizens can continue doing that work independently. What I'm asking for today is that these concerns be formally preserved in the public record and that meaningful project and entity information be sought before county decisions are made. The optional project file would simply make information already received by the county easier to keep together and locate. It could be no more complicated than a designated email address and a paper or electronic folder. My hope is that this approach gives citizens a constructive path forward while preserving a respectful relationship with the court and encouraging greater transparency from landowners, developers, project companies, utilities, contractors, and other participating entities. Thank you again for allowing me to speak and for the attention the court has given to the people of Leon County. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
And we, thank you.
I'll make a motion, we put the letter from Mr. Red in the minutes of the court.
Got it, need a second?
Second.
Second by TJ, any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you all.
All right, let's jump back up, let's do number 9 real quickly. Just a minute. Discuss anything on letter discussing permit structure in Leon County. This has come to us 2 or 3 times, and I didn't feel like I had the authority to do this. Again, this is a Black Mountain asking about our permit, which is no more than flood permit, electrical permit, and that's about it. Road use agreements, things like that. But and they can get all this information on the website.
Yep.
Anyway,
So, Judge,
I did not give them anything. I brought this is a letter from them.
I'll make a motion, we no action.
All right, not a motion, no action. They're here a second to that.
second.
I mean, you don't have to.
No, I mean,
Can I
speak?
Yes, you sure can. Oh, this is Ms. Comer?
Yes, sorry, I just changed my last name.
Okay. Come on.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So I just sort of wanted to explain what the letter was for, just to give you a little bit more context. Basically, I read the website and determine what permits I think are required, and then I write the letter for you just to make it easy, not because I'm trying to put words in your mouth.
But it does.
Well, really what I want to get out of it is a confirmation that I've interpreted the permits correctly. So if you don't want it to say it like that, that's totally fine. I was just trying to make your lives easy. What I'm trying to get out of it is just to make sure that it's the road use agreement, the electrical permit, the septic permit, and the floodplain determination.
what was your name again?
Carolyn Comer. Sorry.
So, when I read over this over the weekend, this is requesting information that directly ties to the project that was just presented.
Yes, sir.
Some of these parcels of land are adjoining those parcels of land. And these parcels of land are not in their application that was sent. And, I mean, obviously, you don't have to tell me what they're for, but I asked the gentleman earlier if they were going to have any type of power or anything else, and they said no, they're Navasota Valley. And then these parcels pop up that directly correlate with their project. So I'm going to ask you these addresses, and I know where they are, on FM 1146 and on Highway 7. What these applications, these permits that you're requesting there, what are these projects for?
It's all for the same project with Crusoe. And there's no additional projects going on. We typically have more land than we need. It's no other reason than that. I can be more specific in the letter if you'd like.
And what you're asking for is you're asking for us to tell you what permits are required, or confirm.
Or confirm it, yes, whichever way
It's the same
y'all,
difference.
yes.
What we have in county.
Correct.
Right.
And you've done your research on
Yes,
the
sir.
website, and you've tried to articulate what you believe the requirements are.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Okay. But that's all this is.
Yes, and really just to make sure we're all on the same page and make sure that I did my research correctly. And then, of course, it makes, anybody else that I talk to, like, hey, there's no building permit or whatever, and they don't believe me, then I can say, look, I've talked to the county, this is exactly what we need, and how it goes.
Yeah.
And we've discussed it a couple times, just going over, when they had asked Judge originally, I said we have too much going on, with too much friction here.
Yes.
I think there's enough, you have good attorneys that could probably give you an opinion letter explaining all of
Right.
this. So I was at the point where I didn't want to put us on any sort of hook. I think those are our permits. I'm 100% those are the only permits I know of, but I didn't see the need, as I expressed, I didn't see the need for us to do this.
Yes.
Other than to simplify your financing and.
Right,
that's not my
and this is
concern.
just something that I do for every project. It's not, an attorney hasn't told me to do it, but honestly, it makes my life a little bit easier because it helps show that I've communicated with y'all and that, we're all on the same page, but It's nothing more than that.
My motion still stands.
Second.
You know, have a second?
Yeah.
Okay, he's rejecting the letter, motion and second. Do I hear any more discussion on that?
Rejecting the letter?
Yeah, he's rejecting.
Why are we rejecting? I couldn't already.
Well, this is gonna put us on, this letter is putting, I mean, she's not doing it on purpose, but she is doing it on purpose. She's putting words in our mouth and saying this is all we got a permit, so they can use that potentially against us in the future. Not that she's gonna use it against us in the future, but.
That was my concern, and just the overall, we're bringing everything with data centers into public, and so that's just the two. I believe that our permits are on the website. I sent the website.
She's done her research and she's tried to articulate it, but she's asking us to confirm that she's reached the right conclusion.
I mean, for those of you who don't have a copy, I don't mind reading it here. It says, permits required, it's got a list here, and it says permitting through the County of Leon required for a commercial project located at 1758 FM 1146, 1181 FM 1146, and 14346 Highway 7 West, or Highway 7, sorry, Highway 7, Marquez, Texas 77865, partials, and it lists a number of IDs here. As the county currently understands, the project will be the following. Number 1, zoning. No zoning requirements and no permits required. Number 2, permitting. An electrical permit is required. A 911 addressing permit is required. A floodplain determination permit is required. A septic permit is required. And a road use agreement permit is required. No further permitting for the floodplain permit is required if the project is not impacted in a floodplain. Fire department is the Marquez Marquez Fire Department. No permitting is required through the fire department or the county. Thanks. So basically, just somebody wanting us to state that that's the permits that we require, which, as Commissioner Workman said, they're on the website.
I already stated.
Okay, all in favor to reject it? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Okay, number 7, let's go with number 7. Updating of the guidelines and criteria. And the.
Now they're going to leave.
residential.
Head out. We've got to catch a
Yeah.
flight. I just wanted to
Okay.
say thank you to everybody for your time, and we'll follow.
You don't need to give me if you want to. We'll talk about the town hall, or you can call the Jewett Civic Center yourself and rank it. Whichever way you want to do, just be sure you get enough advertisement out there.
Okay, sounds good.
Judge, can I speak for a second?
Yeah,
We're hosting a town hall, and I'll come talk to you about it.
Okay,
It's on the
good.
27th. So
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, thank you, Commissioner Sport,
Appreciate
Judge,
it.
thank you.
Somebody-
Community, thank you. Yeah,
Safe travels.
thank you.
Okay, we're on 7.
So, obviously, the, 7.
I'm just trying to get on the paperwork.
Get okay with it. Okay. Obviously, the application that we received was adequate and sufficient. I think there's been some question about what the actual guidelines are that are in place since we've passed other tax abatements in the distant past and even in some, or at least accepted applications in Midland County in the recent past. So, since the application was woefully inadequate, in my opinion, I took the liberty to take our current, what I believed was our current 2025 tax abatement guidelines and adjust them a little bit for consideration of this court. To be eligible, I added the following: must exercise reasonable mitigation efforts to minimize the impacts on adjacent properties and Leon County's natural resources. I added must comply with all state, federal, and local regulations, and must not result in the increase of cost of services to Leon County residents. That's on page 1. On page 2, I added the application package, which I will talk about in a second. I have prepared an abatement checklist that requires a lot of the stuff that we talked about today. Environmental studies, traffic impact analysis, all that's in here. I think that needs to be part of the application package. Not just whatever this is, 5 pieces of paper with some words that a 6th grader could have written on it. Then going further down under H, the standards for tax abatement, I added 3. What? Page 6? Yeah, page 6, correct. As part of it, they need to, that we would consider whether or not the project has all the necessary permits from the applicable environmental, state, and resource agencies. That we would need to consider the potential impact on surrounding properties and the applicant's plan to mitigate, if any. And 19, potential impacts on Leon County natural resources. On page 7, under letter B there, I added application package, as opposed to it being just the application, and where it requires the checklist. And that's the adjustments that I made to the actual tax abatement guidelines and criteria. I'm not going to read the entirety of the checklist, but needless to say, I think it's fairly comprehensive and open to suggestions, but it includes things like the project identification Red spoke about, phasing schedule, timeline, surveys, land use map, decommissioning, land use, road impacts, water use, water service provider coordination, water utility commitment letter to be required, groundwater district approvals, wastewater, what is their estimated wastewater generation. I added the Natural Resource Conservation Service letter of cooperation, assuming that's the appropriate discussion with them. Stormwater pollution prevention plans, floodplain review, electrical services, where are they going to get their provider, what a commitment letter from them, their ERCOT interconnection status, highlight air quality and noise impacts has also got things in there. Light impacts, photometric study, night sky impact analysis, all this other stuff. And then environmental ecological impacts, and then finally fire protection, requiring a memorandum of understanding with the emergency service districts, ESD, and the associated volunteer fire departments. Again, this is just a starting point. I'll admit that I took the liberty to utilize some work that others have done to develop some of this. I felt like this is the appropriate place for the checklist. Because if you want a tax abatement, you got to fill out the checklist. You got to provide this information in advance before we were to even, as a part of the application process or package, not at the time of the abatement.
What about EMS?
Well, that would be through the ESD.
Section M there.
Yeah, that would be through the ESD. Yeah, last page, if you look at section M. Well, Emergency Services District, that's where the ambulance service.
Okay, then let me ask you, the application, you say it didn't need to be changed at all?
Well, I mean, I think we just need to add a line in there that says, the completed application, see application checklist or whatever.
This would be added to.
Correct.
This would be a bullet point on the application.
The application itself.
Right, but the application itself will be, a little more high level because all the details in here.
Once you
in the checklist.
yes, sir. Once you take that application, those first couple of pages fill out some generic information, but when they fill out this, then you're going to have a complete understanding of the application.
Okay, but where do you want that referenced in the application? Where do you want that referenced?
Well, I mean, I think on the application form itself would be appropriate to reference, attach.
The end of the checklist is attached?
Yeah, and include all the necessary documentation. in my mind, the kind of the flow was to make sure the guidelines outline the checklist, provide the checklist, and then attach that to, yeah.
Okay, do I hear a motion saying we approve the new guideline criteria, checklist, and?
I think it needs to be submitted to Keith.
Okay.
Right, no, that's a good question.
You haven't seen?
I saw, started this morning,
Oh, I thought you'd
and so
seen it.
essentially, it's an abatement, so we get a lot of discretion on to make sure that none of these exceed, but because it is largely, we're allowed to do the 312 through 13 through the time, so we can put a lot of requirements. They're just gonna be uniform requirements for any abatement.
That's right.
And these aren't.
A car company or
Whether or not
a data center or anything else.
That's right.
And these aren't abatement requirements. This is just applicant. I mean, if you're going to come in.
It's a threshold, but it's not like our permitting, where if you meet the threshold, you get the permit.
Right.
You have to meet these for us to even consider you, and we do not have to accept.
And they may have not applicable and
Yeah,
something.
if there's one that doesn't work for them, they just explain why this.
Right, exactly.
Our type of business doesn't use any water. Our type of business doesn't use power or whatever.
So my submission is to have this reviewed by Keith.
Right now, you want to table it until we keep the review.
No, we need to address the process of what we're going to do.
Okay, well, all right.
Does anybody have any objection
I
to
don't have any
adding the
objection to what
checklist?
you got, and we can approve it, I guess,
Contingent upon being reviewed.
That's fine too, we can do that.
Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Bing, do y'all have anything you want to add to that?
Did y'all keep 3 and 4 in there about reasons to deny the abatement?
We didn't take anything out.
Okay, y'all didn't take anything out?
So
I
I
just
think
wanted to make
there's,
sure it stayed.
I think there's a little bit of confusion. The website has a very, very dated version of our guidelines on it. Very dated, like
87.
Well, actually, one day that's when the law was passed.
Right, and then
but-
y'all renewed it.
but
Right.
It was pork chop was an
Points about
office.
the website are not illegitimate.
Yes. I can agree with that. Yes, sir.
Well, pork chop was an office, so I'm guessing 2000.
And unfortunately, John's not here, but he's ours, and we all
So
work
anyway,
pushing new websites.
so there's been some new ones. It's just a little bit dated on the website. We need to get that fixed, of course,
I would say
right?
that should
But
definitely be up there.
yes,
I know your budget is very limited right now, but if some of these major infrastructure projects come in and you do negotiate abatement or pilot agreements where you have additional revenue, unanticipated revenue coming in, do you foresee the possibility of having the opportunity to hire at the county level an environmental quality coordinator or an engineering reviewer or something like that to put the onus on for reviews on somebody other than y'all and him?
Why do you need an abatement?
And we can always consult
we can have professional services.
In my opinion, that's what we should be able to charge these projects for. Look, you have this project, we're going to require you to provide us the funds that it takes for us to hire the outside party to look over.
Yeah, the problem is we're limited to $1,000 for the application fee, so we can't even right-size the application fee to what's being applied for.
And we asked him to agree to provide the funds for us on the outside counsel that helps us with the agreement to make sure everything's buttoned up perfectly on our side. So they pay for it, but they represent us.
You're limited by the state or?
Yes, sir, the statute actually prescribes a $1,000 fee. I looked it up yesterday.
What's the maximum?
Right there, 31202, reasonable application fee not to exceed $1,000. Right in the statute. Which puts us obviously at a disadvantage when you've got something as intense as this.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even, at $1,000, they turn the application, for me, everybody else in here is more intelligent than I am probably. But they provide what we just went through a checklist and provide us a folder with 250 pages in it. Then we're going to be required, am I going to be the one looking at that information? We're going to have to, as a county, hire someone to vet this and say, they didn't just BS you on the environmental impact study, that's it. So we're going to be out thousands of dollars no matter what.
And we can do that under professional services.
Right.
Which is, we can also use some money if you got it coming in to make sure that they're not snowballing you and that, the due diligence has been done.
But that's all through the tax abatement.
Well, we can pass that on to the vendor.
Sorry?
I said, you don't have to have a pilot to pay for that.
Say it again.
I said, you wouldn't have to have the pilot money to pay for that. The tax, like, you don't have to
Yep,
get into.
citizens can pay for it.
Citizens can pay for it.
This, if they come in, the tax.
We're limited to $1,000.
I know what you're. what he's saying is that in order to pay for these things, we would have to get into the abatement and use the pilot money to cover the cost. What I'm saying is the new amount of revenue that comes in can also be used to cover that without having to be part of a tax abatement to cover the costs of it. Like, we don't have to, if these folks came in and the taxpayers had to pay for it up front, like let's say we had to front, $1 million up front just to cover the costs of having all these things reviewed and stuff like that. If they're paying $16 million a year in taxes, we can take some of that money, like that $1 million, to pay back what we just had to cover. We don't have to have it in the form of a pilot to pay that back.
But that 16 million they're paying is a pilot or abatement.
Right. I mean, we wouldn't have
There's
that.
a big
It's not out of the
difference between
$13.5 million county budget from this year.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve these changes to be approved or be contingent upon the review by Keith, and to go into effect immediately upon Keith's approval.
Yeah, and whenever they're approved, Keith, and we'll put them on the web.
Commissioner, may I have a copy of it?
Of course, you may have my copy. I'm gonna need to. I'll send you a non-draft version.
Yeah, we need a non-draft.
I'll send it to you because there's a little bit of formatting issues.
And then I'll get that to you, and you can send the PDF.
Yeah.
So it's not changeable.
And you can send it to me for inclusion. Yes.
Would it
Make
replace
sure
the
that you get
existing online
final copies
application?
so you can just
Sir?
pass it to the correct people.
Okay.
Will y'all replace the existing
Well,
online application with that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually, when
As soon as
Right, when
we
it gets approved,
we
it
get
would
approved,
replace
it'll
the
be on the
existing
web.
one. Right.
So did we have a second on that?
I did.
Yeah.
We voted on it yet?
We voted on it.
Well, so,
We're ready.
We're still talking.
no, I mean, to be fair, and we're gonna get to that here in a second. This particular project, for those of you who are still in here, is 4 to 5 times the value of the entire county currently. So this is the largest thing that has ever hit the county, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's 20 times the size of Nucor and a power plant and a coal mine, 50 times the size of the high-speed rail. Nothing has ever come across the Leon County's desks as large as this, as they present it today. So it's going to take some time for us to work through things. It's going to take me time to work through, even though I've been reading everything on the internet, everything on Facebook, everything that we can look up, that the lawyers are sending us from the state, everything we can do. It's going to take me time to process all this, and it's going to take this company. It sounded like they have half this checklist done already.
I'm sure they do.
It's not presented to us. So it may be that we put this on the website Friday. Don't hold me to that. It gets them put on the website Friday, and they may come back Tuesday with a new application. They check, their boxes are checked. But it may be 6 months from now. But it's going to be, this is a starting point, and along the way, we might have to, something's happened. Every time we do something, the next project brings on something we didn't think about in the last one. So we get this back, somebody else says something about it, we may be right back in to say, hey, we need to amend this next time and add X to it. So.
That's right. Okay. 12, 13, 14. John here?
We got to vote on it. I don't think we voted on it yet. Did we vote on it?
We didn't vote on it.
No.
All right, all in favor to approve this based on Keith's approval?
I haven't said anything today, but
Go ahead.
I'm against tax abatement, period. And I came here planning on making a motion this morning to no action, tax abatement, period. But I'll hold that right now. I'll vote against it later. I like I'm not gonna get enough votes to kill it. But go ahead with your vote.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
I said no.
Are you against the new criteria?
I'm against
Okay.
tax abatement.
Well,
We have an existing criteria.
we have to have this in place for
I know we
any.
have a existing
Okay.
criteria.
No problem.
It passed. It's all good.
Okay, 12, 13, 14, John's not here. Are we going to discuss 12, 13, 14?
I don't know the answers.
Make a motion, I think we just need to no action these for now and bring them back.
I asked him, I saw one of his people here today doing refresh or whatever, and I asked, and he's like, I don't know, so I'm gonna have, I told him, John, give me a call, and we'll make sure, do whatever we can, even if it's via Zoom, so tell y'all what's going on. Especially because I have to assume he's gonna budget for what we're getting.
Okay, so I need no action on 12, 13, 14.
I made a motion for no action for 12, 13, and 14.
Got a motion on the floor, second. Whom?
Second.
Paul, any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we have Ron with Linebarger here to discuss 15, 16, and 17. Basically, we're going to go to 15, discuss what to take action on approving a bid from Steve and Sadie Klein on lot 13, 14, 15, block 13, Hilltop, for an amount of $4,500, $1,500 a lot. Ron, there you are.
Good morning. I started to say good morning. Good afternoon, Judge Ryder, Commissioners. We have items 15, 16, and 17 on your agenda today. Are three different sets of tracks over in Hilltop Lakes that we have bids on. These were properties that we previously took judgment on for delinquent taxes. Offered them at public sale, and they did not sell for the amounts that the minimum bid set up by the statute. And so our process after that is then it can be open to private bids, which we then bring among to the taxing entities for your review and approval. I will tell you that on all three of these proposed sales, we have presented those to Normandy ISD, and they have approved all three of these sales. And have signed off on the bid. So the first one today, item 15 on your agenda, is a private bid from Steve Klein on lots 13, 14, and 15 of Block 13, Section 2 of Hilltop Lakes. These are three undeveloped tracts. They are heavily wooded, and at least one of those, I believe, has some drainage issues in it that may or may not even be buildable. Mr. Klein owns the tracks behind it. That's where his residence is, and so he just wants to purchase those to have control of not anything else being bid built on the tracks behind him. These are all of these today are all off water lake lots. They're not on the water, not waterfront, and are all undeveloped. And so we're asking the court to approve this. Mr. Klein has offered a total of $4,500, which is $1,500 per lot for the sale, and so that's what we are asking the court to approve. Each of the taxing entities will take a haircut on the past taxes on a pro rata basis, just like we do on all of these other ones that we've done before. But importantly, this gets these three lots back on the tax rolls with a resident at the facilities, out at the subdivision, so the likelihood of him going delinquent on these is very minimal. So we'll keep them producing and get them back to producing income because they haven't been producing anything on the tax rolls.
Can we do 15, 16, 17 together?
We can do all three of them together, yes, Your Honor. I will tell you that on item 16 is Clayton and Haley Halliburton, and they are proposing to purchase lots 26 and 27 of Block 9, Section 15. Again, these are adjacent to their property. Their house sits on two lots, and then these are back up to them. They're not exactly often. There's offset by one lot. And so they have presented a offer for $2,000 per lot for a total of $4,000. For their two lots, and so we're asking that that be approved. And then also on item 17 on the agenda, Ronald and Crystal Ellett have proposed to purchase lot 9 of Block 12, Section 2, for $2,000. This is a single lot, and it is immediately to the side of their residence. So there again, all of these sales would be purchased by landowners who have a residence out at Hilltop Lakes, and these tracts are adjacent to their property. And so we'd ask you to approve.
Your recommendation is we accept these?
Our recommendation is to accept all of these and get these 6 lots back on the tax rolls.
Need a motion for 15, 16, 17.
So moved.
Got a motion by TJ, second by Paul. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Ron, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you all.
Appreciate it, and y'all are following up what we asked y'all last year, which was come in and try to clean up delinquent tax lots.
Absolutely.
And thank you for that, because all the tax communities need them back on the road.
Yes, and we're somewhat encouraged. There's been a change in some of the board out at Hilltop Lakes and the current board seems to be more geared towards growing Hilltop Lakes as a residential community rather than just having it as a private golf course for the residents. And we've had 2 additional investors on small scopes that are looking at properties. So we're hoping we bring some more to you in the near future to get some of these properties that are still there back on the tax rolls.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're at,
That was for 15, 16, 17, all.
right, all together. We voted on that, right? Yes. Okay. 18, 19, and 20 is Donna. Let me give 18 first. Discuss public take action on budget amendment request 2026 mass mailing of voter registration certification voter ID cards. Donna?
Yes, sir.
We got a copy of it too, Don. We got a copy. Yeah.
Good afternoon. What you have before you, I'm respectfully requesting an approval of a budget amendment in the amount of $5,824.54 to cover the cost of the 2026 mass mailing of voter registration certificates, the little voter registration ID cards. This expense was not included in the fiscal year 2025-26 election budget because as a new elections administrator preparing for my first county budget, I was unaware that this statewide mailing would occur during the first fiscal year. For me, it was an oversight resulting from my lack of experience with the full election budget cycle and not from a lack of planning or fiscal responsibility. The annual mass mailing of the voter registration certificates is a required statutory responsibility of the voter registration office, and every active registered voter in Leon County must receive an updated voter registration certificate, making this a mandatory operational expense that cannot be deferred. I have an attached copy of the invoice, and the total amount needed is $5,824.54, which covers the cost of printing and mailing the voter registration certificates. Moving forward, this expense will be incorporated into future election department budgets to ensure adequate funding is planned for that fiscal year. And I respectfully request the court's approval of this budget amendment so the elections office can remain in compliance with state election requirements and continue providing timely service to the registered voters of Leon County.
Your motion is second to approve. Where are we gonna take the money from? It has to be contingency, isn't it?
Judge Schreider, may I comment on?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
So the 911 address change happening in Hilltop Lakes has been somewhat of a confusion. We have one woman there that's had her address changed 5 times. And several, they misroute, it's not correct on Google Maps, which is a totally separate issue, but there have been so many different address changes and just, you know, and I know it's probably minimal.
Yeah, I don't think
but
we're.
is that a concern or
Talking about
related
elections,
to this at all?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, it's been a problem out there, that's, I mean, as far as 911, but it has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. Okay.
I will say that there's a project with the Hilltop Lake addresses and street names and road ranges and 911 addresses being done, and we're in phase 5, and so we've been given those phases from the 911 emergency management office, and all we do is just do what they tell us to do, but there have been multiple corrections, and they continue to happen. So we have no control over that.
Number 18 coming out of contingency.
She'd have some money in there, so.
Okay, we'll use whatever.
She's gonna need some.
Just need some.
So assuming assuming it's correct with the recent conversion, it looks like she may need about $3,000. I don't know what her other expenditures are, but I can move just what she needs.
Sure, just what you need.
Just what she needs from
Up
contingency.
to the
Okay.
Yeah.
So your motion is to.
My motion is to move what she needs from contingency.
The rest out of her budget. Okay, got a second?
Yes, sir.
Second? Second by Paul, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
Mine too.
We probably all have this.
I think we have it.
Just so you know.
Okay, well,
It's all in our packet.
I'm glad you read your email then.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just
Okay,
came
number
prepared.
19, discuss and
Thank
take
you.
action on budget amendment request 2026 election salaries and overtime.
Yes, all right. So, again, I am here to request your assistance with another budget amendment for Fund 22 election salaries and election overtime accounts. The current balance is a deficit of $15,319.14 in election salaries and $8,109.62 in election overtime, for a total shortfall of $23,423.76. Again, I want to acknowledge that this first 18 months serving as elections administrator, new to the position, I underestimated the staffing and overtime that would be required to conduct this year's elections, but also implementing multiple new Secretary of State mandates and recent legislative changes, which I am going to discuss next. During the last 18 months, the office successfully conducted the March primary election, the May uniform election, 5 cities and school district elections, and the May primary runoff election. And throughout these elections, the state implemented additional requirements that significantly increased labor cost. These included expanding post-election manual hand count audits, requiring additional ballot board members and election workers, multiple electronic poll book logic and accuracy tests before every election, in addition to the required public test, expanded election night reporting requirements, and additional reporting through our team system. These new responsibilities required many additional staff hours that were not anticipated with this budget prepared. And although 18 months has gone by, it has provided me a lot, better understanding of the resources that I'm going to be needing to administer elections under today's state requirements. And going forward, I will prepare future budgets that are more accurately reflecting these staffing and operational needs. Today, I do respectfully request the court's assistance in approving a budget amendment to cover these deficits so that our office can successfully complete the current fiscal year. And again, thank you for your continued support and commitment to ensuring that all of our citizens of Leon County continue to receive secure, accurate, and well-administered elections.
We have money in her salary line. What?
I was just curious as to how we ended up.
Overtime, where did all that overtime coming from?
Yes, sir. And that's my next handout. I'm going to go over all the legislative. Yes, sir.
So why are we getting all that overtime?
That's a great question. There's.
Away without overtime.
Yes, sir.
If you had to work later, you take it off another day.
I'll give you an honest answer here. Number one, I'm new in the job. I was finding my way as I was going forward day by day. I had no idea, except for what I was doing diligently as I was learning and reaching out to any and every resource possible. When the fiscal year budget was done, it wasn't done properly. I had much more on the fiscal year that I understood I was doing. I had no idea how long it was going to take to do the things that we're doing. But again, all of the new legislation that has come into effect has definitely impacted most of that overtime, is because of all the requirements and the time that it takes. And quite frankly, the speed to competency. With having a part-timer and having to have so many extra workers and ballot board members and so forth, the times have changed. it's not the way it's used to have been. I mean, times have changed, and again, I am very transparent. I've kept very copious notes on what my activities were as I was turning in timesheets, deadlines, and doing this with a part-timer. And I've asked 3 times, I'm going to ask at our budget meeting today for another consideration, respectfully, of the part-time position being full-time. I don't know what it takes. I need help. I cannot do the job with a part-time staff member. This year has been, again, all about changes, Secretary of State, implementations, having a very broken new computer system that is called Team, which some of you may have heard of. We don't even have a Secretary of the State, if you're aware right now. She's gone, and we've got people dropping off the bandwagon left and right in the elections division. There's a lot of frustration in not having the tools and resources we need to do our jobs effectively. So I'm not sure, Judge and Commissioners, if I'm giving you the answers you need to hear. I'm just telling you what the reality is. And if I would have known and understood, I guess, the new budget or the budget that I would have needed, we wouldn't even be having this conversation, because I would have budgeted more money for the elections, I guess, than for the overtime. Again,
We would have probably had that conversation at budget time.
Exactly.
We're still gonna have it.
And I'm just being very honest, you know.
Did we cut her budget this year? I mean, is this something like that got cut and then we need to add back, or?
Well, usually, one year is higher than the next. I don't recall right now. Well,
I was just curious. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but.
I mean, I have to look. I could get back with you.
Like this year was like 4, maybe 5 elections.
Right, and did we have revenue from those elections? Don't the others, like the cities, pay us?
As we speak, I'm expecting 23,000 plus that should be here within the next 5 days. So that's
For
going
those
to.
elections that you administered?
Yes, those invoices are pending, yes. So that's 23,000.
And how much of that would be applied to this? Like-
That's a good question. I can't answer off the top of my head, because I don't know. Brandy, how does that work when I get these checks back? And those, I mean, and I make the deposits to my 22 fund. I need a little help.
I'm not really sure how it gets dispersed, how it gets
To the correct bucket.
It's recognized as program income. In 2025, her activity was 281,000.
Okay, and then what's her activity this year?
To date, it's on page.
Well, no, what's her budget for 26 then?
Uh,
Because she was asking for 23,000 more.
26, it was 200, she cut herself back to 207,000.
Okay, so that was why I was asking, right? So the budget prior to her taking office, or taking position, was 280.
81.
And then she cut it to 207, and we may have overcut a little bit, is the point, is what it looks like.
And 280 was a budget that was not very many elections.
Right, no, and there's more elections that were executed, that was why I was asking.
Well, it was, but 75,000 of that last year was for the county's portion of the lease payback on voting machines.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't that we cut salaries and
That's
stuff.
correct. Last year, but we paid it all last year, so.
How much, like the runoff election, off the top
Ooh.
of your head, how much does that cost?
That's a great question, and I'm actually working on that right now.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out, is
So,
if this $23,000 basically pays this one.
It's excess cost, but that was a county election, nobody charged but us. And then we've got to pay our people, our machines, our poll workers and everything else, that's all.
well, all the election workers have been paid, so, yeah.
But I'm saying that outside of your budget.
Yes, right.
And what, I mean, I'm just gonna ask questions, I haven't had this happen, what happens if the answer's no? I just don't know the answer, I was just curious. What happens if we say no?
Do you have an election between now? Well, one.
No, not until November.
I don't really.
Well, and I will say this, and we've spoke, Melissa and I spoke, I'm gonna dip into everything that I can to, you know.
I would just make sure that you're receiving the payments from the entities for the elections.
The total amount that I'm waiting on right now is $23,869.42 for the May 2nd uniform election. So that money is literally on its way. It should be here. It was a 14-day invoice.
What we ought to do is wait for that money to come in, and see if we can contribute it to the
Well, we've
Salary.
already budgeted $37,500 to program income as a part of her budget. So either we don't budget anything, and then we do a budget amendment each time she gets money, or we budget it, which is how we should do that.
Yeah, no, that's right.
We only show that we collected $250 out of the $37,500 projected to receive for program income.
Okay, and also the HAVA grant has helped, and we have used some of that. Yeah, okay, anything to do with it, okay, just trying to.
Yeah, it blurs it is what it does.
Okay,
Well,
sorry.
Who was the overtime with? Which employees were, was it?
Well, we
all
only
of y'all?
have two. It's myself and a part-timer.
But it's not the election workers?
Well, good question. Post-election manual hand count. Again, my next topic is to explain all these things that have caused this deficit. And so, just to give you an idea of a post-election manual hand count, the very first time that we did it, it took us over 8 hours. Well, now we've done it it'll be 4 times, and so we're getting a little bit more familiar with what we're doing. Again, that wasn't anything budgeted, and I don't have control over
That mandate come in.
all his
since the budget.
mandates, right? And in fact, I'm going to tell you about another mandate that I've been introducing you to, the Senate Bill 2753, that is still about to roll out, and how that's going to impact even more, longer hours for voting, 2 weekends in a row, all those kind of things. So it's just, elections are different than they used to be. It's a year round. It's not seasonal, it's year round.
It really was this cycle, right? Because there was seeming like an election almost ongoing all the time.
Yes.
I don't know that it'll be the same next year.
So, well, and I can tell you now, because I know, unless there's any other runoffs, the next fiscal year, starting for the county, would be the November, and then we would see March elections for cities and schools, and I've spoken to every entity, and almost every entity is going to have an election potentially, and also we have an ESD 4 that's going to have an election for a tax, whatever it is they do. So it's going to be really busy. And when this Senate Bill 2753 rolls out, where there will be no gap in early voting and election day and weekends, that's going to be longer hours and, more workers, and there's more audits that have to be done, which I'm going to tell you next. So, yes, sir.
I'm going to make a motion, we give the budget amendment. Obviously, there's nothing we can do about it. Donna, we appreciate all your work. We just have to do all we can to try to limit overtime.
Oh, absolutely.
It is what it is.
Well, and I will say to that, and again, I'm apologizing for being new and being in the learning mode, but I can honestly tell you that I have been very diligent in trying to learn as I go and do all I can to get this job done, but it's been very challenging.
You came in, you were getting over budget instead of a whammy of 23,000 at one time.
That's a very good point. Thank you for that advice. I
Motion
appreciate
and a
that.
second on the floor to play page 23.
Out of contingency, right?
Out of contingency,
Melissa?
correct. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 20, discuss the legislative timeline impact for county
Yeah,
election.
we got it. I think we can do this.
Okay, so.
Just hit the highlights if you don't mind.
Okay, so lastly, again, there's just a lot going on in Austin, and it impacts, my world significantly, and all of us. I'm trying to be transparent as I go, and I'll try to be more transparent. At the same time, it's just business, and it continues to become more and more demanding. So here's some timelines that I wanted to brief us on. The Texas legislation has enacted several election integrity measures that expand the post-election verification process. So again, this post-election manual hand count audit, that began last November, and so that's not going to change. And now what they're doing is including election day ballots, it's the same, my apologies, it's not now, it's the same. Election day ballots, early voting ballots, and ballots by mail. So counties, we have to manually count selected polling locations that the Secretary of State tells us to, and the ballot by mail precincts, and compare those to our voting system totals. And those audit results must have, they have to be submitted to the Secretary of State, posted publicly. Again, it's all about deadlines and, putting things on the system, and it's just very methodical. This is something that is going to be it's new to me, I've just learned about it. It's the Texas Risk Limit Audit. This is an additional post-election hand count audit that's moving toward implementation. So unlike the manual audit, this is going to use statistical selected random samples of paper ballots. And here's what they're doing. We did this at a conference recently. Basically, the Secretary tells you, here's a list of all these ballots. Go find them and pull them, and then go into a computer system and enter this information. Then they're going to come back and say, okay, you're good. Well, when we did this in a trial period, we didn't get the good check mark. We had to go back and start all over, and this was like multiple people doing it. The method to the madness is above my pay grade. At the same time, that's the kind of stuff the Secretary of State has us doing, because somebody out there thinks that election integrity is being, compromised. So again, that's another audit that's coming. That's going to be time consuming. What is it, what does that do to our office? More staffing hours, especially, before, during, and after elections. More chain of custody. I'm sorry, gentlemen, did y'all have? Oh, okay, I didn't know if you had a question. Expanded chain of custody, documentation that we're required to do, security, opening ballot boxes, resealing, manually counting, reconciling, reporting, postings, increased training for election workers. Just in closing, we're a small county. We're actually a medium county compared to the others in the state, but we are very limited staffing, and these mandates are creating a significant increase in the workload. Not to mention, a reduction in existing responsibilities. And as I mentioned, we're working very diligently to support the Hilltop Lakes 911 address issue. That has been a huge extra load on us that we did not have a consideration for our budget in. So the goal here, again, is just, I have to do what I have to do to not go to jail. That's what I say to myself. I don't like baloney that much. So, and my favorite orange is not wearing a prison uniform. And that's how serious this job is. It's pretty scary. Some days when I come to work, I'm really anxious, quite frankly. It's just a lot of responsibility. So I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to do a better job, but I'm not the person that was here for 10 years before me. So that's all I have to say. Y'all have any questions?
A little thing too, Senate Bill 2753 is going to put more work because they're doing away with early voting. It's going to be continuous.
Yes.
Yep.
I know elections is not.
You vote early and then there'll be a week. You're going to start, and it'll be working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the way up through election day.
Right.
Well, actually, it's not 12 hours, but there's going to be several 12-hour days, and Saturdays and Sundays.
And Saturdays and Sundays.
And if there's a polling location opened on day one, it will remain open through election day. So just in a nutshell, we do early voting here for all elections. We'll have to keep this office open on election day, but it will be for a dedicated precinct.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
There's no vote on that, that's just informational. Just before I head forward, we just had directly our budget set at 1:30. I think we should just announce that we clearly haven't finished, but it doesn't say or after. So I think we should just, if anyone's here waiting for budget, just so that we have the notice.
recess this
I
one,
think-
open that one,
I think if
recess
we-
that one, open this one?
I think as long as we have it on the record that we're letting people know that we were going right after this, it's just not been a long darn day.
Yeah.
So.
180 days.
100, you want to pass it? Okay.
You feel we've covered it, or do we need to talk about it some more?
I feel we've covered it.
Anybody that's interested in the budget meeting, it will start at the conclusion of this meeting.
Whenever this concludes.
We're supposed to start at 1:30.
Okay,
Just run them off.
21. Joey wants to, no action that, or? Huh?
They never have,
No action?
Tammy just tell them they never have moved that stuff.
Okay, so I need a motion saying that no action 21.
Well, no, we're not going to no action, we tabled it.
All right, we table.
I made a motion to table.
Okay, got a motion by Joey to table. Here, a second?
Second.
Second by Paul. Any more discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, you convey to them, they never have moved that stuff.
Motion carries.
I did the other day, the lady called to ask us to take her number off the website, and I let her know that you were very upset and not approving any of their permits, because none of your issues have been addressed. You were supposed to reach out to Miss Rhonda, and Rhonda, she's actually running
She doesn't like
around.
It's hard to
Measure it.
Oh, you, 180 days?
I'm sorry. I make a motion that,
Oh, yeah,
County
180.
Road 220.
Okay, we got 22, road use agreement, pipeline agreement for 220, 221, 222, Comstock, 180 days. Got a motion on the floor for passage for 180 days. Do I hear a second? Second by Kyle. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, discuss vote take action on establishing the precinct 3 community response team.
I'm going to go ahead and no action for now. We're still working on the evaluation, so it may take a little bit longer than I thought. So I'll make a motion, no action 23.
Second.
All right, got a motion, no action on 23, the response team, second by TJ. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 24, discuss vote take action on updating Leon County volunteer agreement form. That's probably the same thing.
It was sort of part of that, but it was more global in the sense that any other volunteer for Leon County. TAC had made some suggestions.
Separating,
Well, I don't have a copy of it with me today, but we had it the other day. My recommendation is we just have to take a look at it and then have the personnel department or with personnel.
add that to our website or whatever. We got website stuff, and I wish John here too, because I think they.
You want to table it?
Yeah, I'm going to table that one, I guess.
All right,
And I'm
I was
gonna-
going to table 24. Do you hear a second?
Second.
Second by TJ. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. 25, discuss probably take action accepting roads from Wildwood subdivision into the county maintenance.
Okay, we finally got them done. So I'm going to make a motion, we accept the roads, which is 4941 and 4942. Into Leon County Maintenance.
I don't have any paperwork on that.
I don't know what paperwork,
I don't need it.
what paperwork do we need? I've never done it, this is new for me.
I think you need the
I
mileage.
had an email from Kirsten Borland on what the new names are going to be.
Right, she didn't give you the mileage though? Okay,
I didn't get that either.
I think let's just say for 911 purposes, it would be so approved.
well, it needs to go onto my road, on the road chart too, on the road.
Typically, it's more important when we're closing it, you know, the mileage, like, especially if we're gonna close it at 1 mile versus 5, if you're taking the whole 14 line, I think getting your mileage for purposes of 911, but we know the whole road is going into maintenance here.
I'll make a note. So that's my motion to accept it.
Got a motion to accept 4941, 4942 into Wildwood subdivision. Here a second?
I second it.
Second by TJ. Any more discussion?
Just to be clear, those roads were oil sanded 100%. That's the requirement.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 26, discuss vote take action on approving the Leon County feral hog abatement anti-breeding policy.
This is a policy that we are required to have in order for us to be getting the hog abatement grant.
Do we have something in writing? I didn't get it.
It's in here, it's in your package.
I didn't get
It's in your packet.
it.
This is just obligations of the grant.
Oh, correct. Okay, I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah. Do we have a motion saying we approve that?
Hang on, Judge.
We gotta read this.
Yeah.
Don't we have landowners that do this? Don't we have landowners that do this?
I don't think we have any landowners that breed wild dogs, but.
And put two together, didn't that automatically come out?
Well, man,
You know,
I'm just saying.
Langley's breeding wild hogs.
That's why I wasn't gonna name names, but
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is anybody actually doing that? Somebody is doing
I
that?
think so.
Yeah.
They do, they sell hunts. They sell hunts.
oh,
Now, they may be in a high fence where they're
but
captive.
this says that the participants in the feral hog abatement shall not intentionally breed, raise, possess, transport, or release hogs for the purpose of increasing the feral hog population for the compensation from the county.
Oh.
Yeah, I think all he has brought to him is 4 hogs.
Yeah, especially
they're
if
not
it's
one of
growing
those-
and they're going to cut the tail off, like, that makes sense also. You know, like,
Right.
we don't want you to pay this out. I don't see anything wrong with that.
Individuals that
The
intentionally
penalty is they're not allowed to
breed
participate in the program anymore.
Right, but does this put an enforcement on us to where now they have to certify when they bring their tails in that they're not doing this?
We,
I think we reserve the right to investigate suspected violations.
but, so Tammy,
If we suspect.
certified whenever they turn one.
we do, no, we do. That they fill out they go to class
Right.
that they take here, when they get their card, they have certified that they're lawfully,
Their application
that they are lawfully possessing those tails in accordance.
With Leon County policies?
Correct.
Okay, so we're adding this to policy, we'll check that box.
Correct.
Correct.
Cool.
All right, do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the,
I recommend we email it to all
We have.
license holders, or whatever you call it.
The ones that supplied it.
And
Permit.
Yeah, permit
And I
holders.
can print them out for hog collections
Yeah,
where they
right.
can come up.
okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Oh, you need a copy of it?
No, I need the signed version for the.
You need Morgan, you need a copy, you need this copy?
I'll get it from me.
Okay, 27, discuss and take action on appointing the tax assessor collector to calculate the no new revenue, which is the old effective, and the voter approval rate, which is the old rollback for tax bill 2026. That'll be Victoria.
Good, as good as you can be listening. All right.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we,
Second.
appoint the tax collector to calculate the no new revenue rollback.
Okay, we got a motion by TJ, second by Kyle to appoint Victoria Willis. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Yes,
carries.
ma'am, whatever goes.
28, review and announce the proposed preliminary budget to be submitted on August the 10th at Commissioner's Court, filed and county clerk first filing, placed on the web, after that, placed on the web. There, motion that we, it's just an announcement. I'll make an announcement. It'll be August the 10th. 29, present proposed tax rate, tax roll value for Leon County Appraisal District. What we have is the estimate. We have Marcus back here and should have the certified one between the 22nd and 24th. Right?
Wednesday and Thursday, yes, sir.
Right. You don't have any questions for Marcus? At all?
No,
So what?
You need this?
There'll be some coming up, I'm sure.
I'm here.
Anything that's signed.
You need this?
I do.
Do you have anything to add to this?
No, everything's still preliminary estimated. We'll have the hard numbers, like Judge Ryder said, next week.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read it. At net taxable value of $3.285 billion.
Right. Okay. Number 30, I'd like to table that. I hear a motion, second, we table it.
So moved.
A motion by Kyle, second by Paul. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 31, discuss or take action on resignation of Terry Johnson and appointing Jennifer McKenzie to the DSD 4 board.
I make a motion that put Jennifer
Second.
Got a motion to this effect by Paul, here a second.
I second.
Second by, excuse me. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. 32, we need to table that, right? Keith?
Yes, I got something out this morning, but I wasn't here.
Okay, I need a motion to table 32.
Second.
Got a motion by Joey, second by Paul to table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Discuss whether to take action on signage for new parking lot and reserved parking sign for county.
For real? I definitely made a joke about it, but I'll stand by it.
I'm sorry. We said put something on the agenda.
They're two separate things. The real thing is, I think we should look into what it would cost to get signage to either determine if we want all our folks in this building parking in the new parking lot.
So we have this open
Or do we
road.
want to push people so they know they can go back there and there's good parking so they're not going all the way down this road like this. That was my real thing. Yes, I did say it, and y'all want to give it to me, I'll pay for it, I'll donate it to you.
We should also put one sign out here that says additional parking or something.
Yeah.
It's like maybe something in front of like Charlie's, like that way it points it, and then something in front of that
Over here that shows
building
the street.
that points it to the right. But that's just my thinking out loud until people know more until we find out the whole thing.
We should be able to make those signs too. Should be.
That's the year's parking sign. We took them all down around the square at one time because they were just an eyesore. Everybody wanted their own sign. And district judges, we don't have much say so.
And district judges don't even like saying district judge anymore, they just say reserve
They
parking.
changed that too.
I'm not offended whatsoever. I'm sorry, cracked up that it made it on the agenda. But I would suggest that we think about signage for the parking.
Yes, I
We did
agree.
spend money, and it's a good part of the tent.
Yeah.
Can we just, I mean,
We can just have,
well, like when I was in here last week, we've got the 911 addressing truck that parks out here in front, and then we've got the maintenance truck that parks out here now. Obviously, they during the day when they're going back and forth, then they're working out of the building, but they're parking on weekends, afternoons, other things going on. They are taking up
and we're
valuable
somehow
parking spots.
we're take a lot of our GPS off the square, which is always just where, you know, you can move. As
Do we have cameras back there yet?
No,
We need to add a camera.
I'll talk to Caleb. See what he thinks.
Especially we're gonna start parking trucks back there over a weekend. It'll be a nice spot for sure. Okay, so we need to put something to get some signage. The question is who's gonna lead the charge? Are you volunteering?
I didn't really want to, but I don't mind. They just talk to Bob and see if he can print them.
Yeah, I think number one can print them.
It's just gonna be.
And then we can determine where we think the best placement is.
Additional parking with an arrow.
I mean, so the stop sign out front, that belongs to the city, correct?
Yes, I'm assuming.
So the stop sign right there would, I mean, I don't know if we can place anything else on the stop sign. But if not, we're gonna have to have additional signposts with them
Somewhere.
on it. Yeah.
It's awkward.
But it may be that they can go across the road on the street sign.
Right. We could think on it. I just wanted to bring it up. I think it's, I just know the other day we were dying parking. There's a lot of spots over here that weren't getting utilized. You know, it's not a bad, we might want to build more places and stuff.
When we were coming over here, I saw cars lined on the side of the street, and there was, I just thinking back that there was plenty parking back there. So yeah, it definitely needs a sign.
And it's not always the worst, but 100%, since we're always starting on Mondays now, jury trials are always going to start on Mondays. So every time, especially when we have crowds on either one, they're going to be coincide now. We're going to be everyone.
And we need to think seriously about some steps over here, when we go down the alleyway, instead of having to go all around the building. To get like the district court and all that.
These are just,
That's what I'm doing. He volunteered to be in charge of it.
yeah, I'll start on it.
All right, I make a motion, we allow Keith to work with the EOC to get some signs, some additional parking and maintenance.
EOC maintenance.
EOC and maintenance.
And parking and steps for the south side of the building.
Look into that.
We can add it
Okay,
to the.
so we got a motion on the floor to look into the signs, have Keith over that. Second.
No dedicated sign for county attorney.
Yeah, no, that's out. Who makes the second?
It's true.
Second by TJ.
And that includes the
Steps on
parking
the
steps on the south side of the building.
Well,
He's gonna look, yeah, look
We'll
into
look
it.
into
it'll be
it.
the southeast side, really.
Yes, include steps. Okay.
Right there. All right, moving on.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. 34, discuss public take action on permit 46146, Windstream Connect for County Road 305, 215E and 329.
Negative.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna table it.
Table it? Got a motion on the floor to table number 34. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by TJ. Any more discussion?
Until they move the lines that they put in wrong the first time.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Line drop?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. And they just gave me the middle finger. Did I say that?
You're number one.
Oh, I was number one.
Okay, number 35, discuss public take action on permit Windstream Connect for County Road 416, 432, 430, 388, 424.
That's actually
That's
488.
416 mine.
416 is
And
what's
it,
showing.
and I had on that note, and I'm gonna hurry, I had a conversation with TxDOT because they came to me and was wanting to talk about the truck stop in that road. And I said, we've already approved of moving that road behind the truck stop. She said, well, that's what we understood, but they've come back, somebody else said, Lord, I said, let's just run with it like it is. They're gonna have to move the road. And so Kinetic doesn't need to have a permit to run a line down there if they're finna move that road. But part of that road actually encroaches onto I-45 right of way. Anyways.
What do you want to do?
So we tabling it to TJ?
Well, so the other ones there, mine, those are actually, they're the beginning of our county roads, but they're all within the city limits of Marquette. So, I mean, yes, 432, that's not the road until you get to the end of their work, but basically, from their map that they presented, all the work that they're doing is inside the city limits, which our county roads go through the city limits, but they're not doing any work on the county part. Everything they're doing is in.
Somebody tell them that they got to redo all that.
Well, it's just a sign at the highway, says County Road 429, but it doesn't start for,
They're gonna have to talk to
7 blocks
TxDOT
down there.
about I'm not gonna approve 416 because they allow that to move in 6 months because they're finna start.
No action.
All right, no action?
No
All right.
action on 35.
No action by TJ, seconded by Joey.
Yes, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Discuss whether take action on acceptance of the FY 25 audit.
Request the table. I hope that they will be here on the 22nd.
Move the table.
A motion by Joey, second by Paul, table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Keith, you update the Commissioner Court Building
I think,
Committee and IT Committee?
I think bring it back next.
All right, table.
There was just no.
Do you have a motion? I hear a motion to table 37.
So moved.
Got a motion by Kyle, second by Paul. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. 38, budget amendments.
I don't have anything in support.
Don't have any, okay. 39, monthly report.
I don't have
Don't
anything.
have anything. 40, approval of the treasurer's report. Have to do the same.
You have it? Actually, I don't know if it's in your packets, but I emailed it to everybody.
Yes, ma'am. I make a motion to approve treasury report.
Second.
Sorry, I forgot to send it to Tammy too. It was a little bit of a cluster.
Did you email that to me too?
I got it.
I don't know what I did.
Part of it, that's not the most special.
Question here. I've got proposals here for 29A, 29B. It's actually 42A, 42B. What? I don't understand. Somebody gave me these.
That should have been, my apologies.
Okay, so it should be 42A, B, and C. Is that right?
Those are, yes, I guess the budget got updated, or the agenda got updated. Did it change?
Those must have been tabled from last one, you just didn't
Okay.
change the numbers. That's what it
You
is.
skipped 41, then?
Oh, she said 29A. But
You
it's
skipped
actually.
41.
Well, I'm just looking at the numbers here. I don't think we've done
40 yet.
I hadn't done 40. Yeah, we did. We got a.
We just haven't voted?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I don't have.
That's right. Yes, we did 40.
So Brandy does, though. Brandy's got a 40.
40? It's on the third board.
Okay.
He's already motioned, I've already seconded, we're just waiting for a vote.
Okay, all in favor say aye on 40. Who made the motion? Who say who seconded?
I made the motion.
Okay, 41, no, excuse me, yeah, 41, donations and reimbursements.
Senior Nutrition for June received donations of $748.
$748 senior nutrition. Do I hear everybody say we approve that donation?
So moved.
Second.
On a motion by TJ, second by Kyle. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discuss what take, excuse me. Also donation for tables and chairs, Expo Center from Two Rivers. They're not here. Two Rivers and now Alliance. Let me table that.
You can do that, or I can represent Judge. Well, it may be way through Two Rivers.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're making a donation, so
they were gonna do.
The chairs they brought in are donated to the expo.
Right, but they were going to also donate 60 tables and some additional chairs.
Yes, at our old location now. They have been there since Two Rivers purchased those, and they want to donate them to the expo, for the expo to use as they wish, and for them to use during their
events.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept the donation from Two Rivers.
A motion to accept, is here a second by TJ, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You and
Sheriff.
and the team.
I knew Jeff was here, so I didn't know who else. Thank you. 42, this purchase sale request, it's 41A, B, and C. Discuss or take action on purchase of fans for the expo.
Which will be your 29A.
Yeah, it's gonna be your 29A.
My apologies.
29A, B, and C. It was given y'all.
Second.
There you go.
It's just that we did last, that we talked about the budget.
No action from TJ.
Just on
Okay.
A.
No action on A.
Just on A.
All right, we got no action by TJ, you're in second.
Second from Kyle.
Second by Kyle, any more discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number B, discuss or take action on terms of contract renewals.
Okay, so in your packet, and they're stapled together, so we should be able to run through this pretty quick. The first one says IFB 2026-343 term contract for purchase of oil sand hot mix. They have agreed to renew at the same terms and conditions. Do you want to go through these all at once and then Judge, you can sign off approving this? Or do you want to do it one by one?
Oil sand, so same cost for oil sand? Or is this my lot?
I was just trying to go through it quick.
Melissa, the first page that says 1 of 2, is that the one we're on?
Okay, that's just the cover page to let you know what this packet is.
Okay, so the next page is attachment A.
Okay, then go to the very, there's a letter here that says contract renewal notice,
Got it.
IFB 2026-323 term contract.
Okay, Ergon Asphalt Emulsions.
They have agreed to renew at the same terms and conditions.
Don't do them all, Judge, you'll do them one at a time.
Whatever, what's y'all's pleasure? I just do it all at the same time.
Yeah. Move on.
All right, very much the same, we approve.
Wait a minute, she hadn't got them all out.
Oh, okay.
I've got a duplicate here.
Okay, so the next one is Texas Materials Group, which is the second.
The second one is, I'm sorry, which one?
Texas Materials Group, which is
Yes.
the hot ones.
They have agreed to renew at the same terms and conditions.
Awesome.
The next one, term contract for cracked fuel oil, they have also agreed to renew at the same terms and conditions. The term contract for purchase of fuel, they have also agreed to renew at the same terms and conditions. Suncoast Fuel, same terms and conditions.
Is that backup? That's for backup, right?
That's the secondary.
Secretary,
Yes.
yeah.
The term contract for janitorial service, same terms and conditions.
Okay. Fantastic. Call it.
The term contract for aggregate hauling via belly dump and bobtail, same terms and conditions. The next one will be our term contract for pug mixing of oil sand, and they have also agreed to renew the same terms and conditions.
Make a motion, we approve the renewals.
Any
We've
that are
got
missing?
we've got a motion on the floor to approve, and I need a second, but I need to not be involved in the Suncoast. So we need to approve them all with the Suncoast in this motion.
Okay, all but Suncoast?
All the Suncoast in this motion.
All presented but Suncoast.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second for all of us except Suncoast in this motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who was the second? Who was the
Is there a
second?
motion for the alternate fuel?
Hold on, who seconded the first motion?
Did you second?
Who seconded?
I made the
Well, we ain't got it.
I'll second the
rule.
no.
I think we're all hangry right now.
All right, we got second on the approval for Suncoast?
No.
So we haven't got Suncoast.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Do I hear a motion for the alternate fuel Suncoast?
So moved. Or I'll second. Go
Okay, we
ahead.
have a motion by Paul, second by Kyle. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Okay, Judge.
Okay, we're back even you're at it. Okay, number C, discuss and take action on the BB-COG construction costs for DPS and Justice Peace Floor. This is the internet.
We presented these last Commissioners Court. You have a copy of both of the quotes there. We spoke to John White with Tech Bundle. He recommended that we use Starlink for the JP building and Marquet, and he said that we needed to go with the fiber for the DPS building due to their
Their CGIS requirements, probably.
So he did not recommend to go with the BB-COG for the $60,000 quote on the Marquet building.
But we gotta do it for the DPS officer 16.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Okay, we got a motion.
So, do we have a-
We need a motion.
So, what did you say use for the JP office?
Starlink.
Starlink.
And John, double check that JPs are acceptable for
Yes.
just even with their.
He checked all that out?
Yes.
He does that compliance very well.
He did.
So,
If he's there, I trust him.
we've got alternate internet services for all other county buildings on the square.
For backup.
Is there gonna be, are they gonna have a backup Windstream or no
I
no
can
backup
double check
at all?
that.
Ma'am?
I'll double check
They have to have a hotspot for them or something.
some sort of backup. Okay.
And what was the one for?
But we don't have the
DPS?
cost on that?
No, we will come back to the board on the cost for the JP
For
building
the Starlink. Who's this?
and for the backup.
Okay, so right now we need to,
All we're doing is Starlink for JP. That's all we're doing.
For
I think we can do this.
DPS office?
We'll bring a quote back on that for the Starlink and make a possible backup.
So The urgent one is the JP office, right? The DPS office, we're not ready to even, we haven't started construction over there yet.
Correct. And
So we can budget for that in next year,
Yes,
as opposed to trying to cram it in this year,
yes.
okay? But we need to get the Starlink going. That's gonna be, have they got power yet?
JP,
Still no power from Oracle?
Edith Collins said it would take about 6 weeks to get, full hookup up
Oh,
there.
yeah, we got more than 6 weeks worth of prep work to do. Okay,
okay, so we just do it on just.
I think we just need to table these for now and get the cost for Starlink. That's what I'm thinking out loud. Get the cost for Starlink for JP4 and get it approved next quarter.
When are we gonna approve, the DPS?
I think we need to get the construction started first. Okay, I mean, we need a budget for that in next year's budget. We don't need to mess with it this year.
All right, we got a motion on the floor to table number C. Here a second?
Second.
Second by TJ, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. D, discuss or take action on new truck for 911 addressing.
Did you find one?
Babs, Courtney's gonna find it.
Yeah. I don't have anything in fact.
Babs?
She is looking into it.
So we don't have anything to action today?
No, I thought it was discussed in the budget meeting that that would be coming out of next year's budget.
We don't really
I think we went ahead and buy one.
look at it, if it's reasonable, we'll go ahead and do it this year.
The 4x4, I looked at Caldwell, I think that day, and they didn't have a 4x4.
We go back to the budget before we get to that budget.
We need information from y'all's office to tell us, so we can take action.
Yeah, we get with 3 or 4 different types of
We did.
vehicles, the Colorado, the terrible things to look up to get back to us.
So I'll make a motion with table D.
Second.
On a motion to table D by Kyle, second by TJ, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Discuss or take action on general procurement and conditions.
Request to table.
So
Got a motion to, by Kyle to table, is there a second? Second by Holmes, any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
We do have some public comments.
Yeah, we do. We do. Okay, we have public comments. 3, Michael Rice, Data Center Administration.
Sorry, I got messy writing. Judge, Commissioners, thank you for the leadership you've shown here today and for the questions you asked of the developers. It wouldn't be fair to not acknowledge the effort y'all made to accommodate the overflow for people to be able to join this room and see that presentation. It went a long way. We just heard 20 minutes of being a good neighbor. They said on their slides how they pay their own way for everything to create no burden for the locals. But listen to how it ended. Every promise came with a condition, depending on the details of the deal we enter. The good neighbor part is contingent, and that should tell us all something. They spent much of that time on how little water the facility uses, and that's a half-truth. The building's own use isn't the number that matters. You can't generate 900 megawatts of power without a great deal. You can't generate 900 megawatts of power without water and a great deal of it. Leaving that off the slide doesn't shrink the cost. It just means we weren't shown all the details. Now here's where I get a little confused. I filed a Public Information Act request with the county for records around Caruso. What came back contained only information about Black Mountain Energy's information. I didn't link those two companies. The county's response did. So I looked. Black Mountain owns land on 1146, 200 and something acres they just closed on last month. They're approved in ERCOT to build a 900 megawatt natural gas plant, the same size as what the data center is being proposed for. They also closed on easements from the Beddingfelds and several other folks to get all the way up to the 79 where the property for Caruso goes. Then today, you bluntly asked their representative, what's going on? And they said nothing. Nope, nothing's going on. That answer doesn't match the county's records. It doesn't match ERCOT filings. It doesn't match the land records. It doesn't match the easements that are already on the ground. You weren't given the full picture today, and you deserve it before this moves one step further. The request that Travis made, it did not fall on deaf ears, and I realize his testimony carries a lot of weight. I just urge the court to exhaust every available alternative to agreeing to a tax abatement. Caruso did spend over half of their time talking about being a good neighbor. We shouldn't have to pay them to be that. Now, I spoke with a tax attorney that told me when you enter into a tax abatement that you give up the lien, your ability to place a lien on, because you're taking payments in lieu of taxes. And the Supreme Court case that she pointed me to showed that the government just had to get in line with every other creditor to get their payments when the company closed bankrupt. So that's a very powerful thing that you're giving up. And I would really urge you to really strongly consider getting into an abatement before, think about that before you do it. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
Judge, I can briefly adjust Mr. Rice's question, or I can let the other folk go, and then I can address
Go
it.
ahead.
Okay. Black Mountain, when it was presented, was also presenting themselves as part of the Caruso, and so I said in abundance, Judge went through everything he had to just have me double check for any possible, whatever. Didn't see it. I went through his folder. He loves print stuff, so I went through it, then I got Dana to email you everything. The reason Black Mountain is included is because I didn't want any aggravation where you're all like, oh, you just gave us these few things with Caruso, but Black Mountain is very much there. The emails that we had seen, I think, had them both, or the same people, or whatever. I can't fully remember, but they're together, and we didn't want to be like, oh, we didn't tell you about Black Mountain.
So, in what I got, there wasn't a single thing about Caruso.
That's not right. I mean, I gave you stuff.
We got the thing that Daniel came up and took pictures of, which is how we got the thing. But that was.
Did you finally get the application?
We got that when Daniel came and took the pictures.
No. You ever get one? Did you ever get one yourself?
No. I haven't gotten a response to my thing. So
there. Look at your email, because I know we did that.
What did you got part of it? You said the abatement wasn't in the file.
Right, like that. So what I got just didn't have anything at all about Caruso in it. And so my question was, how are they linking these two things together? And so what I found was those property IDs. That was the only thing. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's all y'all had, or if y'all had an email from them that kind of linked it, so y'all were able to put
they came as a group, tried to address things with Judge, handed out cards, and we basically like, thank you, we understand where you're coming from. If there is so much aggravation, we want everything in court. And so that was there, but I didn't want, with Judge, I was just like, let's make sure if it's not privileged by some reason, that, that's why he had me reviewed it. So if you can go look at my desk, I might have dropped something.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
But I know that he did everything to get it to me. I had Dana scan everything in. I reviewed everything so that it didn't hold one thing back. So we didn't send anything to the AG's office or anything.
Right.
And so
if there's a drop
on it, and I gave it to him.
Okay.
There weren't anything to him, but I gave it. That's all I had.
Okay.
And we got nothing.
Okay. No, look, I'm not accusing y'all of holding anything back. My point with what I said was, I couldn't figure out how y'all linked one to the other, right? And so
I've also been, because of the attorney's strangeness of my position, until the judge wants to send me something, I'm not really trying to loop myself into all of these so that I'm not creating a privilege that I'm concerned about. If there is a privilege, it would be Judge or TJ or any of them. What they communicate with me could still be privileged, but we could figure out whether or not what they were communicating creates privilege. Right. It's purely, I know that y'all have every right to open records, and I know that it's difficult sometimes. They ask me to help, but I don't know what's in there.
Look, y'all are responding in a timely manner.
I'm trying my best.
We appreciate everything you're doing, and I was not in any way trying to throw anybody under the bus.
The form is done. Give her all your election records. I go over that. I got all the flux stuff that I'm trying to get out. With all the sheriffs. I have plenty where I did not have any other than occasional
We've been keeping y'all busy. I know.
But that's the answer for why.
Putting two and two together, I mean, just from me knowing and living across the street. I asked them questions point blank.
I know.
And I've got no answer, so, but there again, we're not.
It's two different companies.
We don't
They're gonna-
really
One's
think
gonna build
you-
a power plant to sell it to the other, but they're gonna sell it through Navasota Valley. So the contract between Black Mountain has gotta go through Navasota Valley and then back to Crusoe. That's gotta be the way it works. We don't know that, but that's right.
At this
So
time.
Navasota Valley says, hey, we need some more capacity. Black Mountain says, hey, we'll build you a new power plant.
The girl who was here got the permit, she was Black Mountain.
Right.
She's the one
Those
who.
people, I don't guess they associate with Black Mountain, because I said something to them about, when they showed up, I said, y'all Black Mountain, no, it was Crusoe.
Right, but what I'm trying, they may be linked separately.
These may not even know. These people may
But I'm
not
No,
know.
they do.
They do?
Yeah, she was telling Cat Wall that they work together and,
Yeah.
you know, all
My
that stuff.
understanding is Caruso does so much more of the financing in the building, and they want, something with their folk wants to find, it helps them with the financing. If they have us on the record saying that stuff.
Yeah.
At any point.
Right, we understand that.
We understand that,
But I'm trying to get, I was trying to get one or two parties to link themselves that they're building a data center, but they're also building a power plant.
Right.
And neither one of them was gonna admit that.
No, that would probably be it.
Black Mountain, I think, is building a power plant.
That's something commercial, I'm probably not gonna get to.
We don't know. We only know what they present. So.
Okay, we
I don't know.
got two more.
Sorry,
Lisa
y'all.
Williford. Lisa Williford, she's still here?
I think she left.
She signed up. Okay. Corley Hickman.
Harley Bell.
She's on 3 of those.
We tried anyway.
That's a name.
Thank you very much.
Move to adjourn.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. We got Commissioner Open Forum.
I have a letter I'm going to enter into the record. I sent it on June the 10th to Schwartner and to Orr's office, just imploring them to provide us some additional local control. I sent that, I just,
And I asked for a representative from Ms. Orr's office, or I'd asked the judge.
We had a representative.
We had a representative. I asked for her to be here today.
Do you have Nick's number?
I didn't
That's the
see
best person to
Schwartner.
talk to for legislative there.
I didn't see Schwartner represented here.
No, I asked for Orr's office, and she sent a man, and he come up here and give us his information.
The other thing is, at least 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, we passed a resolution and sent it to our representatives and to Abbott. We did that resolution a long time ago.
That's great.
Right after Wise County did their, Wise County. We got copies if you'd like to.
Yes, sir, if you'll send that
I
to me,
know
I'll.
some of them posted it, they would like us passed.
Gary, you have that copy?
Probably
Give him a copy of that.
sometime around there.
Yeah, if y'all will send it to me, I'll post it on.
What is this?
did you say?
Orr's office, man, that was here.
He did.
Boy, they're hungry down here.
Did you second it, Paul? Yeah, Paul seconded it.
Got a
Okay.
motion and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, motion carries.
Hold on, guys, I gotta stop the recording.
All right, we'll take a short break and we'll start in
We're gonna go eat.
Got time for a sandwich at least.